If you like audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to MINDSHOCK True Crime. This is your host, Bruce McGuire.
And Maxwell Powers.
And Johnny Mills.
And today, we are going over the mysterious death. Some people think it's not mysterious. Some people think it's a closed case, but we'll be going over anomalies in the death of rap icon TUPAC Shakur.
Man, he's in Cuba.
Some people think he's alive. Some people think the Illuminati conspiracy was involved to kill him. Maxwell doesn't even know who TUPAC Shakur is.
What?
Have you been living under a rock?
I don't know what he looks like, but does he have this weird logo thing like
he's got your same haircut.
Mask. What?
You kind of look like him.
Oh, he kind of looks like me. I don't know if you should give it that way.
We got TUPAC here on the podcast.
Yo, what up?
Well, we're gonna have your image on the Maxwell Powers coffee mugs and Maxwell merchandise coming out soon. We didn't get it out in time for the holiday season, but it'll be up soon, so everybody will know what Maxwell Powers looks like, or at least a little bit. He sort of looks like TUPAC. So how do you not know who TUPAC Shakur is? You're not a big fan of gangsta rap, Maxwell?
All right. What songs has he? I don't know. Like
California Love is probably his most famous,
play
right?
some TUPAC stuff.
But we can't play it.
Like, just a little bit.
We
like
can't
5
play it.
seconds is not gonna interrupt it.
All right, guys, while we're listening, make sure if you like the podcast to donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. If you like the video, hit like. Make sure to leave any questions, comments, suggestions, anything in the comments section. And you could also check us out on social media. Make sure to like our Facebook page, and you could check us out on Twitter, Reddit, and Patreon as well.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, so
He's hardcore.
Yeah,
Like,
some people regard him as the greatest rapper of all time,
Why?
and definitely the most influential. Well, have you been living under a rock in the 90s?
I like Eminem. Eminem is awesome. I like his song.
Well, in his
God.
time,
Like,
in his time, TUPAC was a lot bigger than Eminem. So, like way bigger.
Oh, wait, so TUPAC was kind of like before Eminem.
yeah.
I guess. I mean, a lot of people would find it insulting to compare TUPAC to Eminem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Basically, a lot of people think
So TUPAC is like
TUPAC
the
was like the
legend of-
first. Yeah, the superstar legend.
So he's kind of like the Michael Jackson of rap.
I guess that would be a little bit more apt comparison.
Okay.
That would draw less ire from the hardcore TUPAC fans. But Johnny Mills here was a huge TUPAC fan. I think I was one of the few people that got into him kind of late. I haven't really listened to his music until probably about 2 years ago. So.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I've heard his songs before in passing because he's so popular, and obviously I knew who he was, unlike Maxwell. But I never really listened to a lot of his music until more recently. Okay, so just real quick, I mean, we're going to go over the background of TUPAC for people who don't know who he is, like Maxwell. Maxwell might be one of the only people who doesn't know who TUPAC Shakur is.
I don't know what he looks like. That was the first song I probably ever heard. Or maybe I've heard his other songs, I just don't know it was TUPAC. Or didn't know it was
Put on
TUPAC.
California Love.
All right, I'll put this.
That one is just the most, like,
Yeah.
California Love?
It's the more mainstream
yeah,
kinda
it's like the
song.
most mainstream TUPAC song, probably.
Okay, I must have heard it.
It might also be the most financially successful. We'll break down the financials for Maxwell as well.
Oh, that's TUPAC? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
It's TUPAC and what's his name?
That's
forget
cool.
his name now.
yeah. This is like one of the most.
Dr. Dre.
It's alright.
like-
I mean, it wasn't like, okay. Yes.
I mean, it's not so. It's more of the mainstream. It's more of a mainstream
year
song
was
as
that?
opposed to.
It's probably like 93, 94.
I think it was
Oh, I was
93.
like, okay.
Yeah.
That's when he came back after out of jail. Suge Knight signed him to.
Why'd he go to jail?
All right, so let's go.
Get into
Let's
it.
go over. Well, before we go over all the background, just real quick, right off the bat, Johnny, you think he's alive?
Wait, he's fucking dead? Wait, he's fucking dead? What the fuck?
is he?
Wait, is he like the Elvis
Officially,
type
he's
shit?
no,
He's what?
Like
it's Elvis. Elvis. He's the Elvis of rap.
Wait.
Yeah, I guess
Oh
he's like
shit!
the Elvis
So
of
if
rap,
there's some conspiracies and shit that he's alive, like Elvis
Yeah.
and shit like that.
You never
Because-
heard it? Like the conspiracies that Tupac is alive are more popular than Elvis at this point. Have you
Oh,
really been living
shit.
under a rock?
I don't fucking listen to Tupac. I don't know. I wasn't into him.
Well, if you know who Elvis is, shouldn't you know who Tupac is? And you're always plugged into your phone, and you always have
I
been.
listen to fucking podcasts and audiobooks and shit. Yo,
So you can sit back and kind of pull it.
just make sure it's
You want-
super close because you were getting far.
like that, like kissing it and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
want to taste
rap
metal.
rap into it.
There's a metal screen.
All
I
right,
don't wanna-
so yeah, I don't know. At first glance, after reviewing all the research, out of all of the cases we cover, right off the bat, my first inclination was this is the least likely to be a conspiracy, and that he really was just killed over a gang feud, just gangsta rappers beefing.
Rappers.
You got the Crips and the Bloods, West Coast, East Coast, or wait, East Side and West Side.
North side, south side.
So but however, if there was to be, some people think the police were involved. The police killed him. He's actually one of the only rappers to kind of get away with shooting police, which we will get into. And with the climate of police and minority relations today, it's kind of relevant too, as well.
Did you mention this was like related to like the OJ thing, or was
No.
that you guys, or
No, this
okay.
was '96, but we actually have Mike Tyson. This happened after a
Yeah.
Mike Tyson fight as well. It was huge
In Vegas.
news. Yeah, in Vegas, right on the Strip.
Wait, so what happened there?
Well, this happened right after. Well, Tupac knew Mike Tyson as well.
Okay.
He knew a lot of people. He was always in the news. I don't know how you don't know who he is, because even if
I
you have
just
no
did-
interest in gangsta rap,
He's
he was all over. He was on
I don't-
magazine covers.
I
He
don't
was like,
really-
you know how like people who don't know pop or don't listen to pop, they know who Michael Jackson is because he's so famous. Tupac was like the Michael Jackson of rap. Like, you don't have to listen to Michael Jackson music to know who Michael Jackson is.
He might have even dated Madonna.
Michael
I
Jackson or Tupac?
I don't know that shit, man.
There were some
So-
letters that came out of Madonna.
So
or
he's an
whatever.
Illuminati member or some shit, and he was trying to speak.
Well, one
out
of
and
his,
fucking killed him.
Yeah, he even had an album called
Oh, shit.
Killuminati.
Oh shit! Just like Madonna. Madonna has a freaking whole album of Illuminati shit.
Well, that's the podcast you want to do? Madonna is part of the Illuminati.
Her
Maxwell
whole
Powers
her whole,
hosting.
did you ever hear his shit? Like it's messed up.
Like a virgin?
No. I'm talking like one of her latest stuff, like Illuminati details and shit.
Yeah,
It's
I
crazy.
don't really listen to any new music. I kind of keep it old school.
Old school.
Anyway, go on. 'Cause I'm curious about this Tupac dude.
Okay.
How do you
So-
think it's spelt, his name?
TUPAC. I
Yeah.
think I've seen it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you do know who he is.
No, I just know the logo is shit. Like
Because there's two ways. There's like TUPAC, then also the
what's
two, number
show
two.
me a logo. Show me his logo. Is it like a big T, like a Batman looking motherfucker? like it's like black and white, right?
Tupac
No,
was the
there's-
Batman
I
of
don't think there's
gangster
an
rap.
official Tupac logo. I don't think so. His face.
Oh, so
comes
that's
up.
what he looks like. Oh shit, he's been in movies and shit.
Yeah, he's been in
yeah,
movies. Yeah,
he's-
Oh damn! Well, what he play in movies?
Not big
Like
movies,
his face
but
looks really familiar.
Juice. He was in Juice.
yeah, Jews.
That one was pretty good.
What's that about?
I didn't even see that. I never seen any.
Yeah,
of
that
the
one was
Tupac movies.
good. That one was
Hey,
good.
what's
Do you
Juice
remember Coachella 2012,
No,
13?
I have no idea.
They did a hologram of him, and he
Oh,
did a
shit.
live performance.
Maxwell goes to all the Coachellas. What are you talking about?
Wait. Well, why did he do it a hologram? Because he was dead, or
Well, he's dead. Yeah.
Supposedly.
2012,
Yeah.
they did like a hologram of him
Ah.
on stage rapping.
He also releases quite a bit of music for a dead guy, so that's
Yeah.
one of the other theories
He has
that
a lot
they
of
think he's
albums.
still alive. He released a lot of post.
He recorded a lot of
out.
tracks though before he died.
so he'll record a lot of songs based on dead dudes. And wait, is that what you're saying?
Wait,
No, I'm saying after he supposedly died, he kept releasing albums.
Not someone
him.
else. Well, his,
Yeah.
his
Right.
management.
Or him, who knows? Some people say it was a way of making money.
I
I mean,
like
it
this
is
story so
it
far.
is like if you did fake your own death, you do make more money when you're dead because
shit.
you're more famous after you
Yeah.
died. So those but it seems
he
to
just
me
can't be public. or change
there's
his face.
there's quite a few anomalies in this whole thing, but I mean Orlando Anderson has been named as his killer, as the shooter in the car that pulled up on the street in Vegas and shot him. However, there were a few people in the vehicle, and the other weird thing is Suge Knight would have probably seen the people in the car.
Wait, he's another rapper or some shit?
He's in jail now
For what?
for running somebody over.
Just recently?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Well, didn't you run him over a while ago?
Yeah, it was like
Why
3 years
run him
ago.
over? Just drunk or like?
He might have been scared for his life.
We're
supposedly,
talking
but-
about gangster rappers here in the hood
Oh,
with their gang warfare.
Marion something. I think his name is Marion.
so this is not rich kids trying to play rapper and like they actually
No.
came from the ghetto and just.
Yeah.
No, these are people that were involved in the life.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
Suge Knight was from like Compton.
Oh shit!
And Tupac was from all over, but Harlem,
New York, yeah.
Atlanta.
He just traveled all the
Connecticut.
ghetto places and.
So we'll see how far.
did a
But as
tour on the gas
as I was
cities.
saying, what I was saying though is if there was some kind of police conspiracy or Illuminati conspiracy. By the way, one of the police officers investigating this did turn up dead. I mean, there's a lot of
Oh shit! That's not.
there's a lot of weird things in this case. However, if you were gonna conspire to knock somebody off who's a public figure, the backdrop of having this particular individual be involved in gangs and turf warfare, blood versus Crips, that is convenient backdrop. So if it was a conspiracy, the cover is all there and the cover looks good. It does really seem like it was just a gang feud. And he was caught in the crossfire like many rappers were. This isn't really anything new. It's just Tupac was the most famous.
And he wasn't shot one time. He was shot like 2 years before that as well in New York.
He also survived the shooting in
Yeah.
Vegas and went to the hospital
Yeah.
and died several days later.
7 days later. And he had an album called The 7 Day Theory.
And supposedly the
That's
doctors.
his album.
Well, there's plenty more. There's plenty more weird
Wait,
things.
Why did you say he wasn't shot before? As if it's so important. Like.
So there was like this beef between East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
You know who Puff Daddy is?
Sort of, yeah.
And
Okay.
Notorious B.I.G. Biggie.
Wait, Puff
Kinda
Daddy is Sean Combs?
Yeah,
Okay,
P. Diddy,
so
Sean
P. Diddy,
Combs,
yeah.
Puff
They
Daddy.
go when you're researching. If you're new to this case or you're new to gangster rap, you really got to watch out because some of these guys have multiple names. So
Yeah.
I'll be talking to Johnny about this, and I will have no clue he's talking about. And then it's like, oh wait, do you mean this guy? And he's like, yeah, but he was using a different name. Yeah. So
So they have like these real names and then their rapper names and then there's the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
gangster names and then gangster.
well, they have some of them have multiple rapper names
Yeah,
also.
aliases.
So then their gang name, then their real name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it depends on which city they visit, I guess.
Or what mood they're in, or what period of life they're in. So yeah,
or
as
what
they
per-
rise
what
in status, some
personality
of them
show it
take.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah,
For a period of time, he went for Snoop Lion.
Snoop Blind.
Snoop Lion. Like
Snoop
a roar.
Lion. Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a big
Oh,
Snoop Dogg fan.
That didn't.
I don't think it
Fly.
stuck that well. But he did
Yeah,
an
Snoop-
album. He might have done an
Yeah,
album or like a
I
song.
remember that.
Well, Snoop Dogg, I like because
So
like
Snoop Dogg
snooping and then dog. I don't know. It's just,
Snoop Dogg was in the same
I don't know. Just snooping for some like Snoopy or
You're a big Snoopy fan, which makes you a Snoop Dogg fan.
So
I
Snoop
don't know.
Dogg
It just kind of. I don't know.
All right, let
it's just-
Johnny
it's
finish
just
his
easier.
point.
Let
Yo,
Johnny-
so Snoop Dogg was actually
Okay,
in the
go ahead.
same
What were we talking about?
Snoop Dogg was in the same like camp as Tupac.
Oh, okay.
They were like on the same label. Death Row
Supposedly
Records.
Tupac didn't like him though. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit. Because he was too cool.
Well, there's a lot of beefs.
Beefy beef.
But what were you saying about Sean Combs?
Oh no, I was just trying to get into that whole like when they got shot, when Tupac got shot in New York City. Tupac thought it was like Biggie and Puffy, and it was a hit that they tried to put on Tupac because that whole beef West Coast East Coast.
Yeah.
So that's
So there's a lot of overarching storylines here, and there's also personal beefs that have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That are on the side beefs, which might have something to do with it.
and that song I play in the beginning, "Hit 'Em Up," it was like an attack or like a rap thing against Biggie, and then Biggie came back he made a song called "Who Shot Ya," so it was like, oh, what? Who did shoot me?
and then he was killed
Yeah, he was killed after
6
Tupac.
months.
Yeah, 6
So they're
months.
talking about
after.
shooting and who shot you and all this shit, and then he gets killed and
Yeah, some of the lyrics from a couple of his songs are kind of ominous.
damn.
They're, some of them, he even mentions suicide. Like, he was a marked man. So people around him have said that he knew he was not going to live long. And he was only 25 when he
Yeah,
was
that's
killed. I mean,
crazy.
we're talking about pretty much relatively
And
young
what's
kids
this
here.
other dude, big, what's his name?
Biggie.
Biggie.
He has a bunch of names, too.
He got killed the same day as
I just said 6 months
months
later.
Oh, 6 months later. Oh, okay, sorry.
in L.A., Los Angeles.
So, all right. So let's get in the background of Tupac. Well, actually, one more point real quick. Maxwell, you've never seen any of these kind of like Menace to Society or any of these gangster movies. in like South Central LA, Compton.
No.
You've never seen any of these films that kind of document the street gang life, like inner city street gangs.
I remember, I remember watching a gangster movie. Like, I don't know, everyone just got shot. I don't know.
Boys in the Hood.
Like something like that. Like they just drive across and they shoot everyone in front of the house.
Yeah.
And they shot a kid, and then that I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
All right, so let's get into the background of Tupac. So Tupac Amaru Shakur, born Lizanne Parish Crooks. So his last name was Crooks.
I actually never. I don't know if I heard that before.
So he's born June.
What's his first name again?
Lizanne
Lazan.
Parish Crooks. Sounds like an Amish guy. Amish Paradise.
It's kind of a cool
Amish
name,
Paradise.
Lazan. It's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, it is
Lazan.
pretty cool.
Lasagna.
June 16th, 1971. And then, of course, he was shot and killed September 13th, 1996. 13th, very lucky number. For
Wait. They said shot and killed September 13th?
Oh, no, my bad. He was killed. He died September 13th, 7 days later
Okay.
after he was shot, which that would have been, what, on the 6th?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he was
Also-
in a coma.
So some of his stage names,
Yeah.
some of his stage names were Tupac, the number 2, PAC, and Machiavelli. By the way, an acronym for Machiavelli is I'm Alive K, as in OK, question mark. Was an American rapper and actor. He is considered by many to be one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. Shakur was born in the Harlem neighborhood of New York City, but relocated to Los Angeles in 1988. When he released his debut album, Tupacalypse Now, in 1991, he's really creative, actually. And if you read some of his poetry, even not as part of songs, like it's pretty deep. He became a central figure in West Coast hip-hop, introducing social issues in the genre at a time when gangsta rap was dominant in the mainstream. Shakur achieved further critical and commercial success with Strictly For My Niggaz... ... 1993, and Me Against the World, 1995. Later that year, after suffering illegal troubles and a robbery and a shooting, which, by the way, he felt he was set up, which there is plenty of evidence for that as well, Shakur became heavily involved in the growing East Coast-West Coast hip-hop rivalry. His double-disc album, All Eyes on Me, which was released in 1996, later became one of the best-selling albums in the U.S., Everybody except Maxwell heard of it. On September 7th, 1996, Shakur was shot 4 times by an unknown assailant in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. He died 6 days later.
6?
That's what the Wikipedia says. I guess it depends on the hours
Maybe. Shot on September 7th.
He died 6 days later, and the gunman was never captured. Rapper the Notorious B.I.G., known for his feud with Shakur, was at first considered a suspect, but was also fatally shot in another drive-by shooting in Los Angeles several months later. 5 more albums have been released since his death, all of which have been certified platinum. Once again, everybody besides Maxwell has listened to them or heard of them.
You got a song with Eminem.
Really? Oh shit! I like Eminem.
Outside music, Shakur has also gained success as an actor, with his roles as Bishop in Juice 92, Lucky in Poetic Justice 93, Ezekiel Whitmore in Gridlock 97, and Jake Rodriguez in Gang Related 97, all of which garnered praise from critics. Shakur is one of the best-selling music artists of all time, having sold over 75 million records worldwide.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, everybody except Maxwell knows about him. Much of Shakur's work has been noted for addressing contemporary social issues that plagued inner cities, and he is considered a symbol of resistance and activism against inequities. He was born on June 16, 1971, into an African-American family in the East Harlem section of Manhattan in New York City. His birth name was Lizanne Parish Crooks. The following year, he was renamed Tupac Amaru II, the 18th century Peruvian revolutionary who was executed after leading an indigenous uprising against Spanish rule. His parents, Afani Shakur, born Alice Faye Williams in North Carolina, and Billy Garland, were active members of the Black Panther Party in New York in the late 60s and early 70s. The plot thickens, Maxwell. The plot thickens. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about the Black Panthers turning into the Bloods and the Crips, or one of each or both in a splintering, or something relating to the Black Panthers as part of some kind of grand government conspiracy. But this is not the podcast for that. Lazan was born a month after his mother was acquitted of more than 150 charges of conspiracy against the U.S. government and New York landmarks in the New York Panther 21 trial. Many people in Shakur's life were involved with the Black Liberation Army. Some were convicted of serious criminal offenses and imprisoned, including his mother. His godfather, Elmer Geronimo Pratt, a high-ranking Black Panther, had been convicted of murdering a schoolteacher during a '68 robbery, although his sentence was later overturned. His stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, spent 4 years at large on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, beginning in '82. Mutulu was wanted for having helped his friend, no relation, Assata Shakur, also known as Joanne Chesimard, Tupac's godmother, to escape from a penitentiary in New Jersey in '79. Mutulu was caught in '86 and eventually convicted and sentenced to prison for the '81 robbery of a Brinks armored truck, during which 2 police officers and a guard were killed. Shakur had an older stepbrother, Mopreme Komani Shakur, and a half-sister, Sekiwa, 2 years his junior. Mopreme performed in many of his recordings. In '86, the family moved from New York to Baltimore, Maryland. After completing his second year at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, Shakur transferred to the Baltimore School for the Arts. There he studied acting, poetry, jazz, and ballet. He performed in Shakespeare plays and in the role of the Mouse King in the ballet The Nutcracker. Shakur, accompanied by one of his friends, Dana Mouse Smith, as his beatbox, won many rap competitions and was considered to be the best rapper in his school. He was remembered as one of the most popular kids in his school because of his sense of humor, superior rapping skills, and ability to mix with all crowds. By the way, Johnny, since you seem to know a lot more about this than I do, the whole East Side versus West Side rivalry, Tupac is technically East Side, right? Because that's where he came from and that's where he started rapping. How does that factor into his switch to West Side?
I think you'll get into it later with the whole Suge Knight thing when he signed over to Death Row Records, possibly.
Wait, when he switched to West Side, did he start singing like West Side?
Yeah.
Like, really?
Because technically, would the East Side rappers view him as a traitor because he kind of rose up on the East Side, and he's from East Side. He was born East Side.
Another thing is they're saying it was just a conspiracy that was just built up by media.
The East Side versus West Side.
West Side.
But weren't rappers killing each other over that?
I guess I don't know if it really had anything to do with East versus West. It was more of like the whole.
But they
gang
said
thing.
it did.
Yeah, it might have been like
yeah.
just on MTV News, like Kurt Loder and like I don't know if you guys watched that.
Was it that rivalrous though? Like, would they like the West and East? Was it that rivalrous?
I remember at the time a lot of people were talking about like the people that were buying the records, because at the time when I was in school, I knew a lot of people who were really into gangster rap, and they were always like, if you were East Side, you were buying the East Side rappers material.
Gotcha,
if you were West Side, you were buying West Side, and everybody was like, oh, East Side rap is so much better. Oh, West Side's so much better. So it was kind of like
So
that.
if you were in the West Coast and you were playing some East
It's
Side
almost
rap,
like, yeah,
like,
that'd be
would you
shot,
get rocked?
right?
Like,
I don't know.
It was kind. It's almost like it's kind. I think
guess so.
a comparison that might be warranted is probably like sports teams. Like there's crazy people out there.
Oh,
like
yeah,
if you
gotcha.
wear
Yeah,
some
yeah.
paraphernalia or a jersey of a rivalry of that town, like not
gotcha.
you might get killed, but you might just get beat up at a bar when you're wearing the colors of a rival sports team.
Yeah.
So, like it was. I was always fascinated by the East Side versus West Side thing because it seemed to be. Yeah, it seemed to be exaggerated by the media, but there were always those crazies that would still get crazy over it. Shakur developed a close friendship with Jada Pinkett, later Jada Pinkett Smith. Do you know who Will Smith is, Maxwell?
Of course, the Men in Black dude.
Maxwell's always on the ball with his Men in Black references. With Jada Pinkett Smith that lasted until his death. In the documentary Tupac Resurrection, Interesting name. Shakur says, Jada is my heart. She will be my friend for my whole life. Pinkett Smith calls him one of my best friends. He was like a brother. It was beyond friendship for us. The type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime. A poem written by Shakur titled Jada appears in his book The Rose That Grew from Concrete, which also includes a poem dedicated to Pinkett Smith called The Tears in Cupid's Eyes. Here's the poem. The day you chose to leave me, it rained constantly outside. In truth, I swear the rain to be the tears in Cupid's eyes. During his time in art school, Shakur became affiliated with the Baltimore Young Communist League USA. He began dating the daughter of the director of the local chapter of the Communist Party USA. Did you know that, Johnny?
Nope.
Maxwell, you're a Communist Party member?
Does that mean yes?
Is that a yes, Maxwell?
Nah, the opposite.
Maxwell's an anarchist. Isn't there a communist
It's
anarchist
kinda, well, it's
chapter?
kind of weird. Like a lot of communists consider themselves anarchists, so it's like you could say anarcho-capitalist, but
What about
it's a big
anarcho-communist?
argument. It's a big
Anarcho-
argument between anarchists.
The move to California. In 88, Shakur and his family moved from Baltimore to Marin City, California, a small unincorporated suburban community located 5 miles north of San Francisco. He attended Tamalpay High School in nearby Mill Valley. Shakur contributed to the school's drama department by performing in several productions. In an English class, Shakur wrote a paper, Conquering All Obstacles, in which he said, our raps, not the sorry story raps everyone is so tired of. They are about what happens in the real world. Our goal is to have people relate to our raps, making it easier to see what really is happening out there. Even more important, what we may do to better our world. He began attending the poetry classes of Leila Steinberg in 89. That same year, Steinberg organized a concert with Shakur's group, Strictly Dope. The concert led to his being signed with Atron Gregory. Gregory set him up as a roadie and backup dancer with the hip-hop group Digital Underground in 1990. So his career from 87 to 93, beginnings and rise to fame. Before using his first name as his rap name, Shakur went by the alias MC New York when starting his career in Baltimore. Did you know that?
No. I know he was in some rap group.
Although Shakur began recording in 87, his professional entertainment career did not take off until the early 90s when he debuted in Digital Underground's Same Song from the soundtrack to the 91 film Nothing But Trouble. Shakur also appeared with the group in the film. The song was later released as the lead song of the Digital Underground extended play. This is an EP release, the follow-up to their debut hit album, Sex Packets. Shakur appeared... Is that Maxwell's favorite album? Actually, probably not, because he doesn't know TUPAC Shakur.
No comment.
Shakur appeared in the accompanying music video. After his rap debut, he performed with Digital Underground again on the album Sons of the P. Shakur went on to feature Shock G and Money B from Digital Underground in his track I Get Around, which ranked number 11 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. In November 91, Shakur released his debut solo album, Tupacalypse Now. Though the album did not generate any singles, Tupacalypse Now has been acclaimed by many critics and fans for its underground feel, with many rappers such as Nas, Eminem, Game, and Talib Kweli. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's called Talib Kweli.
Talib Kweli.
Wait, you say Game?
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about throughout his whole career? Not at that point in time, the 90s.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I didn't finish the sentence.
Yeah.
So many rappers such as Nas, Eminem, Game, and Talib
Yeah.
Kweli.
Quality, yeah.
Talib Kweli.
Yeah.
And Talib Kweli have pointed to it as inspiration. Although the album was originally released on Interscope Records, the rights to its distribution are now owned by Amaru Entertainment, the label owned by Shakur's mother. The album's name is a reference to the '79 film Apocalypse Now. Tupacalypse Now generated significant controversy for numerous reasons. The songs...
I gotta say that was a cool name. Tupacalypse. That's awesome.
The songs.
No, I mean it's awesome.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
The songs Trapped and Brenda's Got a Baby were widely noted both for their poetic qualities and their strong critiques of unjust social policies. Dan Quayle criticized the album after a Texas youth's defense attorney claimed he was influenced by Tupacalypse Now and its theme of police brutality before shooting a state trooper. Quayle said, "There's no reason for a record like this to be released. It has no place in our society." Man, this guy wants to shut down free speech. You ever hear the song F the Police, Maxwell?
Yeah, is that him?
No, that's Ice Cube, right?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah. That might have been my first gangster rap song that I heard. There was something kind of funny on social media. I forget where this was posted, but they were like, that song is not about killing cops. It's about corrupt cops. That's why there's no song called F the Fire Department.
That might have been NWA.
Who?
That song.
Yeah, but that was Ice Cube, right?
Yeah, Ice Cube
Yeah.
and Eazy-E.
Yeah. Which, by the way, he figured into the Tupac legend as well, right?
Ice Cube?
No, Eazy-E.
Oh, he died too.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy that somebody stabbed him with an
AIDS.
HIV needle
Yeah.
at somebody's order. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Oh, wow.
The truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, so Shakur stated that he felt he had been misunderstood. He said, "I started out saying I was down for the young black male, and that was going to be my thing."
Down with
Shakur
the
said.
homies.
"I just wanted to rap about things that affected young black males. When I did that, I didn't know that I was going to tie myself down to just take all the blunts and hits for all the young black males, to be the media's kicking post for young black males. I just figured that since I lived that life, I could do that. I could rap about that." The record was important in showcasing Shakur's political conviction and his focus on lyrical prowess. On MTV's Greatest Rappers of All Time, Tupacalypse Now was listed as one of Shakur's certified classics albums, along with Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, and The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. Tupacalypse Now went on to be certified gold by the RIAA. It featured 3 singles, Brenda's Got a Baby, Trapped, and If My Homie Calls. His second studio album, Strictly For My NIGGAZ ... was released on February 93. This album did better than its predecessor, both critically and commercially, debuting at number 24 on the Billboard 200. The album contains many tracks emphasizing Shakur's political and social views, and there are noticeable differences in production from his first effort. While Tupacalypse Now had an indie rap-oriented sound, Strictly For My NIGGAZ ... is generally considered Shakur's breakout album. It spawned the hits Keep Ya Head Up and I Get Around, and reached platinum status. On vinyl, Side A, tracks 1 through 8, was labeled The Black Side, and Side B, tracks 9 through 16, The Dark Side. It is Shakur's 10th biggest selling album with 1.366 million units moved as of 2004. 1993 through 1995, acting and rise to prominence. In late 93, Shakur formed the group Thug Life with a number of his friends. And that's actually where the phrase, "Did you choose the Thug Life or did the Thug Life choose you?" comes from. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. I didn't know that's where it came from.
Well, that's what Shakur's
sounds
group
like that.
Thug Life, yeah.
Gotcha.
Huh.
The meme.
Well,
You're talking about
yes,
the meme. Yeah.
Well, the
I
group's name is because
yeah,
of
yeah.
Thug Life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why.
I didn't choose the Thug Life. The Thug Life chose me. Yeah. I got
Well,
you.
because Shakur's group name is referencing Thug Life on the street.
He has that tattooed on it. Does he? Yeah, I think he has that tattooed on
I
his
like
body
those
somewhere, too.
videos where they show like normal people doing weird things, and then they put the cap in
Thug
that
Life?
sunglass, like Thug
Oh
Life. You know
yeah,
what I'm
the
talking about?
cigar, like
yeah,
those
those are funny, man. I love it.
He formed the group Thug Life with a number of his friends, including Big Sky, Tyrus Himes, Macadocious, Dyron Rivers, and his stepbrother Mopreme Shakur, and the Rated R, Walter Burns. The group released their only album, Thug Life Volume 1, on September 26, 94, which went gold. The album featured the single Pour Out a Little Liquor, produced by Johnny J. Jackson, who went on to produce a large part of Shakur's album All Eyes on Me. The group usually performed their concerts without Shakur. The album was originally released by Shakur's label Out Da Gutta Records, although Amaru Entertainment has gained rights to it since. Among the notable tracks are Bury Me a G, Cradle to the Grave, Pour Out a Little Liquor, which also appears on the soundtrack to the 94 film Above the Rim. Did you see that, Maxwell?
No.
It's a pretty good movie.
Cradle to the Grave was a movie too with
Yeah, it was
DMX, right?
Yeah, with DMX and Jet Li.
Right?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
Above the Rim?
It's a basketball movie.
Uh,
It's pretty good, actually. How Long Will They Mourn Me? That's an interesting title for a song. And Straight Ballin'.
Ballin'.
STR number 8. As a result of criticism of gangsta rap at the time, the original version of the album was scrapped and re-recorded, with many of the original songs being cut. The album contains 10 tracks because Interscope Records felt many of the other recorded songs were too controversial to release. Although the original version of the album was not completed, Shakur performed the planned first single from the album, Out on Bail, at the 94 Source Awards. Thug Life Volume 1 was certified gold. The track How Long Will They Mourn Me later appeared on Tupac's posthumous Greatest Hits album. Shakur's third album, Me Against the World, was released in March 95 and was very well received, with many calling it the magnum opus of his career. It is considered one of the greatest and most influential hip-hop albums of all time, and yet Maxwell never heard of it. It is Shakur's fourth best-selling album, with over 3.5 million copies sold in the U.S. as of 2011. Me Against the World won Best Rap Album at the 96 Soul Train Music Awards. Dear Mama was released as the album's first single in February 95, along with the track Old School as the B-side. It would become the album's most successful single, topping the Hot Rap Singles chart and peaking at the 9th spot on the Billboard Hot 100. The single was certified platinum in July 95 and later placed at number 51 on the year-end charts. The second single, So Many Tears, was released in June, 4 months after the first single. The single would reach number 6 on the Hot Rap Singles chart and number 44 on the Billboard Hot 100. Temptations, released in August, was the third and final single from the album. It would be the least successful of the three released, but still did fairly well on the charts, reaching number 68 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 35 on the Hot R&B Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks, and number 13 on the Hot Rap Singles charts. Maxwell's familiar with these charts, right?
yeah, it's a lot of yeah, no.
What kind of music did you listen to?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what kind of music you listened to your whole life?
Kind of like well, at that time, like, I don't know, it changes a lot, but like
In the 90s, what did you listen to?
like everything
get
popular,
knocked
I guess.
down,
Like, I don't know.
But I get
just-
up again and never gonna keep me down. You listen to that?
Pop music? Okay. 95 through 96, the final recordings. All Eyes on Me was the fourth studio album by Tupac, recorded in October 95 and released February 13th, 96 by Death Row Records and Interscope Records. The album is frequently recognized as one of the crowning achievements of 90s rap music. Steve Huey of AllMusic stated that despite some undeniable filler, it is easily the best production Tupac's ever had on record. It was certified 5 times platinum after just 2 months in April 96 and 9 times platinum in 98. Yet Maxwell never heard of it. The album featured the Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles How Do You Want It and California Love. It featured 5 singles in all, the most of any Tupac album. Moreover, All Eyes on Me, which was the only Death Row release to be distributed through Polygram by way of Island Records, made history as the first double full-length hip-hop solo studio album released for mass consumption. It was issued on 2 compact discs and 4 LPs. Chart-wise, All Eyes on Me was the second album from Tupac to hit #1 on both the Billboard 200 and the top R&B hip-hop albums charts. It sold 566,000 copies in the first week of its release and was charted in the top 100 for 1 week SoundScan sales since 91. By the end of 96, the album had sold 5 million copies. The album won the 97 Soul Train R&B Soul or Rap Album of the Year award. Shakur also won the award for Favorite Rap Hip-Hop Artist at the 24th Annual American Music Awards. The Don Killuminati, the 7-Day Theory, commonly shortened to the 7-Day Theory, is Shakur's 5th and final studio album and was released under his new stage name Machiavelli.
It's a lot of names.
The album was completely finished in a total of 7 days during the month of August 96. The lyrics were written and recorded in 3 days, and mixing took an additional 4 days. In 2005, MTV.com ranked the 7-Day Theory as number 9 on their greatest hip-hop albums of all time list. They should have ranked it number 7. In 2006, recognized it as a classic. The emotion and anger showcased on the album have been admired by a large part of the hip-hop community. George Papa G. Price, former head of publicity for Death Row, claimed that Machiavelli, which we did, was sort of tongue-in-cheek and it was not ready to come out. And after Tupac was murdered, it did come out. But before that, it was going to be sort of an underground record. The album peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Rap Albums chart and the Billboard 200. The album generated the second highest debut week sales total of any album that year. It was certified 4 times platinum on June 15th, 99. Death Row Records. In October 95, Shakur was released from prison after serving 9 months of a sentence for sexual assault and formed a new group called Outlaw Immortals. Shakur joined the Death Row label, under which he released the single California Love. What's interesting with Outlaw Immortals, does Tupac know he was going to be immortal? An immortal outlaw? California Love is perhaps Shakur's best known and most successful song, so Maxwell has heard of it. He just didn't know that that was Tupac's song.
Yeah.
Did I get that right, Maxwell?
Yes.
Okay. Earning the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 and 2 posthumous Grammy Award nominations. On February 13th, 96, Shakur released his 4th solo album, All Eyes on Me. This double album was the first and second of his 3-album commitment to Death Row Records. It sold more than 9 million copies. The record was a general departure from the introspective subject matter of Me Against the World, being more oriented toward a thug and gangsta mentality. Shakur continued his recordings despite increasing problems at the Death Row label. Dr. Dre left his post as in-house producer to form his own label, Aftermath. Shakur continued to produce hundreds of tracks during his time at Death Row, most of which would be released on his posthumous album Still I Rise, Until the End of Time, Better Days, Loyal to the Game, and Pac's Life. He also began the process of recording an album, One Nation, with the New York-based Boot Camp Click and their label Duck Down Records. On June 4th, 96, he and Outlaws released the diss track Hit 'Em Up, a scathing lyrical assault on the Notorious B.I.G. and others associated with him. In the track, Shakur claimed to have had sexual intercourse with Faith Evans, the wife of Wallace, Shakur's former friend and rival, and attacked Bad Boy's street credibility. Shakur was convinced that some members associated with Bad Boy had known about the 94 attack on him due to their behavior that night and the information that his sources gave to him. According to a 2005 interview with Jimmy Henchman in Vibe magazine after the attack, Shakur immediately accused Henchman, an associate of Bad Boy CEO Sean P. Diddy Combs, of orchestrating the attack. Shakur therefore aligned himself with Suge, Death Row's CEO, who was already bitter toward Combs over a 95 incident at the Platinum Club in Atlanta, Georgia, which culminated in the death of Jake Robles, the friend and bodyguard of Suge Knight. Knight was adamant in voicing his suspicions about Combs' involvement. In the years following their killings, associates of both Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. made comments indicating the pair, were it not for their deaths, would have reconciled. Collaborator Buckshot claimed in 2015 that Shakur defended himself against Suge Knight, who had insisted that the East Coast rapper could not come with him to Las Vegas on the grounds of the ongoing hip-hop rivalry. Shakur asserted that he would not board the plane unless accompanied by Buckshot, and was described by the fellow rapper as looking discomforted while they recorded a song together in a studio after Shakur tore up the plane tickets. During an August 15th, 96 appearance at the Brotherhood Crusade rally, which featured several artists discussing the importance of voting, Shakur compared the sales of Death Row Records to voters in the U.S. and the influence he and other artists had over an adoring fan base. Outlaws. When Shakur recorded Hit 'Em Up, a diss song toward Biggie, he recruited 3 members from the former group Dramacidal. suicidal, Dramacidal, with whom it also sounds like some kind of pharmaceutical drug. Dramacidal, who he had worked previously and was eager to do so again. Shakur, with the 3 New Jersey rappers and other associates, formed the original lineup of the Outlaws. Well, you know what else is kind of weird? He's getting East Coast rappers in his group.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposedly West Side with Death Row.
That is interesting. I think they're in the Hit 'Em Up song, too. They go in on Biggie, like saying stuff.
Is that Hit 'Em Up song any good?
Well, we just listened to it at the beginning.
Oh, oh, that was the one.
Well, you put on a couple different ones, but
that was pretty
hardcore.
That was
Yeah.
just like the first 20 seconds.
was that his most hardcore one?
It was the one. It was probably the only one where he does like a diss. It's a diss track, so that's what that is.
A diss track.
Yeah, so you could say whatever you want. I'll kill you this. I'll kill you that. I'll stab you in the eye.
I like
We should have JR on this podcast. He was actually contemplating releasing a rap album.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give this a try on the TUPAC 2 MINDSHOCK.
TUPAC 2?
I'm gonna write.
I'm waiting for Maxwell to
4
ask
Pac?
if they
4
have...
Pac?
If
Or
they
3
were-
Pac? It should
if
be
they
6
were-
Pac.
I'm waiting for
3
Maxwell
Pac?
to ask if they're ever going to do a movie on this.
This would make a good movie.
Guess what? They did a movie, man. You should check it out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, they did
Any
a
good?
couple, right?
Well, they did one like official kind of
The
thing.
All
and-
Eyes on Me.
Was
yeah,
it
All
any-
Eyes on
was
Me.
it
And the
any good?
guy looks exactly like Tupac.
Well, so does
Oh, no
Maxwell.
kidding.
Oh, did you play him?
And coincidentally, have you seen Orlando Anderson? He kind of looks like Tupac too, especially his older photographs.
Who's that?
The guy that supposedly shot him.
Oh, really? Wow.
Have you seen the documentary this past summer? They actually have a confession. I'll get into that. You don't know about that?
No.
Oh,
Wait, say that again?
Keefe D
Keefe D.
confessed.
No. Wow. Yeah, this guy does sort of look like him.
Well, if you look at his old gang photographs from when he's even younger, yeah. If you look at when he's even younger, he looks exactly like. He looks more like Tupac when he's younger.
You said he's the one that supposedly shot him?
Yeah, Keefe D, that guy's uncle, admitted that he was in the back seat of the car when they pulled up, and that he's dead now. Anderson got shot as well. Keefe D's still alive though, but he had a cancer diagnosis, so he's got immunity.
Damn.
And so theoretically, some people point. Well, we'll get to that.
But look at this.
Let me finish.
This is the guy that played Tupac. That looks just like him.
What's his name?
Demetrius Shipp.
He does look.
He
exactly
wasn't an
like him.
actor though. He just looked just like him, but he
That's
actually
why
did
they
a
got
pretty
him?
good job. Yeah.
So they just taught him how to act. He does look exactly like him.
Maybe it's him.
Everybody looks like Tupac. We're going to get into the cloning theories on one podcast as well. I know Johnny likes those theories.
That's just him like chilling. That's not even him playing the character.
So he played some good guys on movies. Because I don't know, he looks like doesn't look like a gangster.
That's not him. That's the guy
Oh,
that
that's
played
not-
him. And all.
That's
Are you
the actor.
paying attention to any of this conversation,
Oh,
Max?
wait, who was that?
That's the That's
Johnny
the
just
actor
said his
that
name.
that's the actor that
Oh, that's
played.
okay.
him.
Got it.
What's
got
his
it, got
name?
it, got it.
Demetrius.
Yeah, but you said
Shipp.
he looks exactly like him.
He
He
does.
does.
So what?
And so does the guy that supposedly shot Tupac.
This guy.
There's a
looks
lot of
like
guys
him.
that
So
look
it's
like
probably him. So he can make a
including
movie.
you, Maxwell. There's also other guys who look like
Oh,
Tupac.
so I'm a
All right, here you go. I'm gonna
suspect.
show side by side real quick.
All right, so when Shakur signed to Death Row after his release from prison, he recruited stepbrother Mopreme Shakur and Big Sky from Thug Life, Hussein Fatal, Napoleon, Idi Amin, Castro, Yaki Gaddafi, and Storm, the only female outlaw. Don't you love their names, Max?
Yaki Gaddafi. Wow.
Were also added, and together they formed the original lineup of the Outlaw Immortals that debuted on All Eyes on Me. They later dropped the immortal part of their name after the untimely deaths of Shakur and Yaki Gaddafi and moved on as Outlaws without the other members of Thug Life. Young Noble was later added and appeared on Shakur's second Death Row release, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. It was on this album that the Outlaws first came to the greater rap community's notice, appearing on a few songs. The idea behind the group was for each member to have a rap name coinciding with the names of various tyrants or enemies of America, past and present. Outlaws chose in later years to make a backronym out of the letters of their group, naming operating under Thug Laws as Warriors, although it does not stand for the group's name and is used infrequently. On forming the Outlaws, Shakur gave each of them a name of a dictator, military leader, and or enemy of America. Yaqi Gaddafi, later Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, Hussein Fatal after Iraqi President Saddam Hussein, Mussolini, formerly Big Sky after Italian fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, Khomeini, Shakur's stepbrother Moprem Shakur after Iranian Islamic revolutionary leader Ruhollah Ayatollah Khomeini.
I never knew that. Yeah, they got rid of everybody in the Middle East. Saddam.
Theoretically, if you believe those theories. The mysterious disappearing bodies as well. Castro after Cuban communist revolutionary and leader Fidel Castro. Idi Amin after Ugandan president and dictator Idi Amin.
They didn't do Hitler?
Napoleon after French military strategist and leader Napoleon Bonaparte. For himself, Shakur created the alias Machiavelli from Renaissance Italian philosopher and political theorist Niccolo Machiavelli, whose writings inspired Shakur in prison, but who also preached that a leader could eliminate his enemies by all means necessary. He mentioned Machiavelli Records a few times before his death. This was supposed to be a music label for up-and-coming artists that Shakur had an interest in developing or potentially signing, and his own future projects would have been published through it as well. Those who believe that Suge Knight had something to do with setting up Shakur's death point to the fact that Shakur supposedly wanted to go out on his own with his own label, Machiavelli, but on the other hand, people say he would still be working with Death Row and Suge Knight anyway, just because he had his own label, because a lot of them had multiple companies. So
it's like a tree, or
so two sides of that. So
I know he wanted to just get his albums done and just get out. That's what I remember.
Well, there's conflicting reports on that. Some people say that, other people say that him and Suge were really good friends. So we don't know. But the thing that doesn't make sense for the people that say Suge Knight was involved, he's in the driver's seat of the car. They pull up on the passenger side of Tupac. So he actually got struck in the head with a bullet, either a bullet fragment or whatnot. Some people's phrases he got shot.
Through the arms too, right? Or just the head? He got grazed.
Yeah, he got hit in the head with a bullet fragment or some kind of shrapnel or something. But he's right next to Tupac. So if they're shooting Tupac, they're obviously, and Suge is really fat. Like, he's really big. So the chances that he's not going to get shot are really, really low.
Yeah.
So would he orchestrate that? It seems unlikely. Unless he put out the hit and they didn't see that Suge was in the driver's seat and they pulled up already shooting. We don't really know the specifics. But in general, people kind of downplay Suge's possible involvement because he was in the car with them and he was with them a lot.
You think he might have just been taking that chance? Like, might have just got...
Well,
like
we're also not dealing with the most intelligent individuals here, and some of these gangbangers are in like the early 20s. So if they don't know that Suge is in the front seat, or they don't care if the hit is on Tupac, they might still try to kill Tupac regardless of who's in the driver's seat. So they might not be thinking too far ahead. We don't know, but it does cast some doubt that he wouldn't have wanted Tupac killed at that moment when he was driving in the car anyway, regardless of whether he wanted to have him killed in general. Yeah. But we don't know. There's conflicting reports on everything. It's a very complex case. There's definitely more than meets the eye, and there's a whole lot of anomalies.
And there was a photo taken that night, too, of him and Suge in the BMW. They were stopped at a light.
Yeah,
and
the police stopped him, right?
I don't think so.
The police stopped him.
There was fans that...
After the police stopped him, there was a girl screaming Tupac's name, and he kind of came up through the roof or whatever and was waving.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
Supposedly that's when Orlando Anderson and Keefe D and their crew, they saw Tupac only because he was kind of coming out of the vehicle, responding to a girl's screaming his name. Because they were just driving around. They wouldn't have even found him if it wasn't for that. Other people point to that there's a lot of coincidences that would have had to happen for that to go down that way. Mm-hmm. So that's why they point to Orlando Anderson just being a fall guy. There's a lot of weird things with it, and the police did stop him. Oh, yeah, that's the famous photo. There's also a photo of Keefe D and Orlando Anderson with a supposed Cadillac, with the Cadillac that was supposedly used in the shooting.
Oh, wow.
So that's his last photo then, right? Because that's the shootout right there.
It happened this photo was taken right before. It was a fan. They were stopped at a light, and they just snapped a quick photo.
So it was like 2 seconds, and then shooting?
Oh, I don't know exactly. There's a timeline. You could see what light this was and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into the specifics. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with this case.
What was the gun used?
I don't know.
I think it was a
must have
Glock,
handgun.
right?
Yeah,
It was a
something like
Glock.
that. I don't think it was like a machine gun or anything like that. But
I do remember they did they not recover, the gun was recovered and the vehicle was found. There was, I mean, we'll get into the specifics.
that car is for sale, actually. The BMW.
Are you going to buy it? Maxwell should buy it.
I'm in.
You could do a rap video with it.
You should get OJ's truck too. You should start collecting vehicles.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Acting career. In addition to his endeavors in the music industry, Shakur acted in films. He made his first appearance in Nothing But Trouble, 91, as part of a cameo by the Digital Underground. His first starring role was in the 92 film Juice. He played Roland Bishop, a violent member of the Wrecking Crew, for which he was hailed by Rolling Stone's Peter Travers as the film's most magnetic figure. I don't know, I thought Omar Epps did a pretty good job as well. He then went on to star in Poetic Justice, 93, opposite Janet Jackson, and the basketball drama Above the Rim, 94. After his death, 3 more completed films featuring Shakur were released: Bullet, 96, Gridlock, 97, and Gang Related, 97. Shakur had been slated to star in the 93 Hughes Brothers films Menace to Society, but was replaced by Lorenz Tate after assaulting Alan Hughes as a result of a quarrel. Shakur reportedly wanted another type of role, but Hughes would not conform to his wishes, leading to the altercation between the pair, which, according to Tyrone Turner, also led members of Shakur's entourage to become physically aggressive towards Hughes. In 2013, Hughes said Shakur would have outshined the other actors had he been in the film, because he was bigger than the movie. Hughes' comments were seen as validation that he had forgiven the rapper since the incident. Lorenz Tate, who had several rehearsals with Shakur before his part was recast, recalled Shakur being close to the Hughes brothers, but that his actions were the result of creative differences. According to former Death Row Records sound engineer Rick Clifford, Shakur reportedly read for the role of Mace Windu around the time that George Lucas was holding auditions for Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The role ultimately went to Samuel L.
He
Jackson.
auditioned for Mace Windu?
According to Rick Clifford, Shakur reportedly read for the role of Mace Windu. Yeah.
You think that would have worked though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Curious,
Wait,
okay,
that
what do you guys
movie
think? Because I don't know
came out-
Tupac that well.
Do you know what Star Wars is, Maxwell?
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I know what what's his name?
Sam
played.
Jackson?
Yeah. Like, I know the Jedi that he plays, so I'm thinking, since I don't know Tupac, I'm asking, well, like, you think?
I think it would have been, I don't know, it would have been weird.
Tupac Jedi?
Yeah, Tupac as a Jedi.
Yeah.
Wait,
Actually, it would have been cool. It would have probably been pretty
He's
cool.
like rapping as he's like
Yeah.
lightsabering.
But was he a good actor? Or,
The thug Jedi, like.
wait, was he a good actor? Or?
He's pretty good, yeah.
Wait, so the Star Wars movie came out in like 2000, I thought, though, right?
Was it 99 or 2000?
Maybe 99. It just seems like it's so far off that it doesn't make sense. Unless they... Episode 1, 1999. So when did he read that script?
That movie came out in '99.
Yeah. And he died in 96. So like when was that movie planned? How long were they finding actors for?
Oh,
Like-
so 3. Oh wow, so that was 3 years prior release. So
and it takes a while to make
yeah,
the
it takes
movie,
a while,
right? The
yeah,
shoot
like
and all that.
a year and a half sometimes.
That's a little
Plus the
Oh.
planning phase takes like another year.
Yeah.
So that's actually makes sense. The script must have been written. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
probably
that's
written.
a good timeline. So at the end.
It says filming started June 26, 97. That's when they started filming. So they probably
Damn.
casted a
Damn, so
year
that does
or more
work.
before, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Huh.
he didn't really have a big part in the movie.
So we could
Samuel
have had
Jackson.
Yeah.
Tupac as a Jedi.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
We should Photoshop his face.
Director
place.
John Singleton mentioned that he wrote the script for his film Baby Boy with Shakur in mind for the lead role. It was eventually filmed with Tyrese Gibson in his place and released in 2001, 5 years after Shakur's death. The film features a mural of Shakur in the protagonist's bedroom, as well as featuring the song Hail Mary in the film's score. Artistry. Shakur's music and philosophy are rooted in many American, African-American, and world entities, including the Black Panther Party, black nationalism, egalitarianism, and liberty. Shakur's love of theater and Shakespeare also influenced his work. A student of the Baltimore School for the Arts, where he studied theater, Shakur understood the Shakespearean psychology of inter-gang wars and intercultural conflict. During a 1995 interview, Shakur said, "I love Shakespeare. He wrote some of the rawest stories, man. I look at Romeo and Juliet. That's some serious ghetto expletive. You got this guy Romeo from the Bloods who falls for Juliet, a female from the Crips, and everybody in both gangs is against them. So they have to sneak out and end up dead for nothing. Real tragic stuff. And look at how Shakespeare busts it up with Macbeth. He creates a tale about the king's wife who convinces a happy man to chase after her and kill her husband so he can take over the country. After he commits the murder, the dude starts having delusions just like in a Scarface song. I mean, the king's wife just screws this guy's whole life up for nothing." In an interview in Spain, American music journalist Chuck Phillips said that what impressed him the most about Shakur was that he was a poet. Phillips said, "I like sacred texts, myths, proverbs, and scriptures. When Tupac came along, I thought he was quite the poet. It wasn't just how cleverly they rhymed. It wasn't just the rhyme or the cadence. I liked their attitude. It was protest music in a way nobody had ever thought about before. These artists were brave, wise, and smart, wickedly smart. Tupac had so many sides, he was unafraid to write about his vulnerabilities." Shakur's debut album, Tupacalypse Now, 91, revealed his socially conscious side. Shakur helped extend the success of such rap groups as Boogie Down Productions, Public Enemy, X-Clan, and Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, as he became one of the first majorly socially conscious rappers from the West Coast. On his second record, Shakur continued to rap about the social ills facing African Americans with such songs such as "The Streets Are Death Row" and "Last Words." He also showed his compassionate side with the anthem "Keep Ya Head Up," while simultaneously putting his legendary aggressiveness on display with the title track from the album "Strictly for My Niggaz." ... He added a salute to his former group Digital Underground by including them on the playful track "I Get Around." Throughout his career, Shakur expressed an increasingly aggressive attitude on his subsequent albums. The contradictory themes of social inequality and injustice, unbridled aggression, compassion, and playfulness and hope all continued to shape Shakur's work, as expressed in his incendiary 95 album, Me Against the World. In 96, Shakur released All Eyes on Me, and many of the tracks are considered by critics to be classics, including Ambitions as a Rider, I Ain't Mad at Cha, California Love, Life Goes On, and Picture Me Rollin'. I think Maxwell's going to go listen to Shakur's entire discography now.
I like these titles are funny.
Shakur described All Eyes on Me as a celebration of life, and the album was critically and commercially successful. Influences. Shakur had enjoyed and been influenced by the work of contemporary English and Irish pop musicians as a teenager, such as Kate Bush, Culture Club, Sinead O'Connor. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Sinead O'Connor or Sinead O'Connor?
I don't know. Sinead.
Sinead O'Connor, and U2. His style on Tupacalypse Now was highly influenced by the social consciousness and Afrocentrism pervading hip-hop in the late 80s and early 90s. All Eyes on Me was a change of style from his earlier works while containing socially conscious songs and themes. This album was heavily influenced by party tracks and tended to have a more feel-good vibe than his earlier albums. Personal life. Shakur never professed to follow a particular religion, but his lyrics in singles such as Ghetto Gospel and Only God Can Judge Me, and poems such as The Rose That Grew from Concrete suggested he believed in God. Many analysts currently describe him as a deist. He believed in karma, but rejected a literal afterlife and organized religion. Shakur had several family members who were members of the Black Panthers. Mutulu Shakur, his stepfather, Asada Shakur, his step-aunt, Billy Garland, his biological father, and Afeni Shakur, his mother. Shakur publicly spoke out against interracial marriage in an interview with Source magazine in '94, but later retracted these comments. His bandana tied into rabbit ears was considered by British writer Rob Marriott as one of hip-hop's most recognizable style choices. Shakur was friends with boxer Mike Tyson. Do you know who Mike Tyson is, Maxwell?
Of course.
Well, you would think you would answer
what
Tupac.
what about him?
Shakur was friends with him.
Okay.
You paying attention?
I missed that part.
Shakur was friends with Mike Tyson, Chuck D, Marlon Wayans, Jim Carrey, and Rosie Perez. He befriended fellow rappers Snoop Dogg and Freddie Fox, with 3 X's, collaborating on songs with the pair and writing to Fox while in prison. Shakur married Keisha Morris Shakur in April 95. The marriage officially ended in March 96. His father, Billy Garland, said Shakur's anger developed from his frustrations in being misunderstood. He particularly reacted when people questioned his commitment to the black community and the West Coast. According to his bodyguard and friend Frank Alexander, Shakur's favorite color was green. He wore a green tank top on the night of his death. Is that true?
It might have been under. I don't know.
Shakur lived with Kidada Jones, his fiancée, daughter of Quincy Jones and actress Peggy Lipton, for several months until his death. Jones was waiting for Shakur in their Las Vegas hotel room when she was notified he was shot. She rushed to the hospital and remained with him until he died from his injuries 6 days later.
I always thought it was 7 days from everything I remember.
Because of the album?
Might be Mandela effect. I don't know.
Legal
we might have to
issues.
look that up.
Legal issues. In October 91, Shakur filed a $10 million lawsuit against the Oakland Police Department, alleging that the police brutally beat him for jaywalking. Don't you jaywalk all the time, Maxwell?
By accident.
By accident. What is jaywalk anyway?
I think it's
If your
when
name
you-
is
I think
Jay
it-
and you walk in the street, you're jaywalking.
I think it's when you walk not on the path where you're supposed to walk. Like if you go,
Yeah,
if you
you're not
cross-
on the sidewalk,
if you,
right?
Yeah, if you cross a
But why is
major
it called
highway and you just,
jaywalk?
I have no idea. I think Jay is like
Because you're like a bird, a blue jay straying from your path. I don't know.
possibly. I don't know. You could look up Urban Dictionary or something. Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
Weren't you paying attention?
No.
He sued the Oakland Police Department for allegedly beating him for jaywalking.
Oh, okay, got
Shakur
it.
received approximately $43,000 in settlement money, much of which went to pay his lawyer. On August 22nd, 92, in Marin City, Shakur performed at an outdoor festival and stayed for an hour afterwards signing autographs and pictures. A confrontation occurred and Shakur drew a legally registered Colt Mustang and allegedly dropped it. As it was picked up by a member of his entourage, a bullet was discharged. About 100 yards away, Kaid Walker Teal, a 6-year-old boy, was riding his bicycle at a school playground nearby when he was fatally struck by a bullet in the forehead, killing him. Although the police matched the bullet to a .38 caliber pistol registered to Shakur, and although his stepbrother, Maurice Harding, was initially arrested on suspicion of firing the weapon, no charges were filed. Marin County prosecutors have said that they were stymied by a lack of witnesses. In 95, a wrongful death suit was brought against Shakur by Kaid's mother. The defense attorney acknowledged that the bullet that killed Kaid was traced by authorities to a gun registered to Shakur. The suit was dropped when Shakur agreed to pay a $300,000 to $500,000 settlement to the parents. Did you know about that?
I only knew about it from the movie. I never heard about it before that. I know what jaywalking is now.
What?
It's called, so people think it's because you walk as a J or something, the letter J. That's what some people think it is.
I didn't think that.
But it's really this. It comes from the fact that J-A-Y, used to be a generic term for someone who was an idiot.
Okay.
So jaywalking.
I'm going to start calling people Jays.
That's it?
Is that why I call it a blue jay?
Or a Jay Bird.
Someone who was an idiot, dull, rube, unsophisticated, poor, or simpleton.
So they wouldn't walk on the sidewalk because they're too dumb to walk on the sidewalk. All right, interesting. On April 5th, 93, Shakur was charged with 1 count of felonious assault. He was accused of attempting to hit rapper Chauncey Wynn from the group MAD with a baseball bat at a concert at Michigan State University. The incident reportedly began when Shakur became angry and threw a microphone. Shakur pleaded guilty on September 14th, 94 to a misdemeanor in exchange for the dismissal of the felonious assault charge. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 20 of which were suspended, and ordered to perform 35 hours of community service. In October 93, in Atlanta, 2 brothers and off-duty police officers, Mark and Scott Whitwell, were with their wives celebrating Mrs. Whitwell's passing of the state bar examination. The officers were drunk and in possession of stolen guns. As they crossed the street, a car with Shakur inside passed them or almost struck them. The Whitwells argued with the driver, Shakur, and the other passengers who were joined by a second passing car. Shakur shot one officer in the buttocks and the other in the leg, back, or abdomen, according to varying news reports. Mark Whitwell was charged with firing at Shakur's car and later lying to the police during the investigation. Shakur was charged with the shooting. Prosecutors dropped all charges against the parties. That's kind of unheard of, right? For someone to get away with shooting police officers, even if they were off duty, even if they were drunk, even if they had stolen guns. In early 94, Shakur was found guilty of assaulting Alan Hughes, co-director of Menace to Society. He served 15 days in jail. The previous year, Shakur had boasted during an appearance on Yo MTV Raps that he had beat up the director of Menace to Society, the line later being used against him in court.
Yo.
Rape conviction. In November 93, Shakur and others were charged with sexually assaulting a woman in a hotel room. Shakur denied the charges. According to Shakur, he had prior relations days earlier with the woman that were consensual. The woman admitted she performed oral sex on Shakur. The complainant claimed sexual assault after her second visit to Shakur's hotel room. She alleged that Shakur and his entourage raped her. At trial, Shakur was convicted of first-degree sexual abuse and acquitted of the weapons and sodomy charges. The judge described the crimes during the sentencing of Shakur to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison as an act of brutal violence against a helpless woman. While appearing on the Arsenio Hall show, Shakur said he was innocent of all charges and he was hurt that a woman would accuse me of taking something from her when he was raised by and was surrounded by females. In October 95, Shakur's assault case was on appeal. Because of his considerable legal fees, he could not raise the $1.4 million bail. After serving 9 months of his sentence, Shakur was released from the Clinton Correctional Facility on October 12, 95. Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records, had posted the $1.4 million bail pending Shakur's appeal of the conviction in exchange for Shakur releasing 3 albums under the Death Row label. On April 5th, 96, a judge sentenced Shakur to serve 120 days in jail for violating the terms of his release on bail. Okay, so a couple points here. One, what do we think of the sexual assault charge?
I don't know.
It's
How do
kind of
you
weird
say,
because
like-
if you're the woman, it's kind of tough because you admit to a consensual
day.
a consensual relationship with the guy, but then supposedly, because I suppose I haven't investigated this aspect of the case thoroughly, but I suppose it's possible Shakur's so-called entourage might have acted somewhat without his knowledge, possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But they don't have any money, so she's gonna
But
sue
did they?
him, right?
Yeah, but did they do like any tests? Is there like a rape kit thing?
I don't
or
know.
whatever?
I don't
You
know.
probably don't have that there, but like. they
I
were able
also
to prove
read.
it,
I
then,
also
guess.
read that some of the conspiracy theories said that again these people conspiring against Tupac paid her to say that, or whatever. There's some
Yeah.
shadiness involving the incident. Very unfortunate in either case. But moving on to Suge Knight, how do you think Tupac felt? Did that seem kind of like sort of not blackmail, but sort of like extortion, where it's like, oh, I'll get you out, but you
Yeah.
got to do 3 records? That's a lot of records,
Yeah, it is.
especially when you're Tupac. Because he's already kind of big at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is 95. So
What do I think
it's
about
not-
what?
that should be on the mug. On the
And then
Maxwell.
he also
About
had this
what?
like reputation too. Like Suge Knight had this
Wait, so-
reputation to be like this gangster dude or whatever. He's like people are afraid of him and
This
all
is-
that kind of stuff.
This is off topic, but did he have like a sneaker to his name, like a shoe?
Not
'cause a lot of
Shoe
the- a
Knight.
lot of these famous-
Suge Knight.
No,
Oh.
what I mean,
did
like
Tupac
shoes.
have a sneaker like Michael
Yeah.
Jordan? Like you wear
Like-
Tupacs instead of Jordans?
Like
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
A lot of these famous people are getting shoes, and they start appreciating in value over time, and they sell them.
Dr. Dre
I'm just
had
curious. I don't
headphones.
know. Like a lot of these are like. I mean, Gary Vee has a shoe.
So what? Some motivations behind him signing with Suge, like you said, maybe it's because Tupac knew he had a lot of enemies, and he wanted like kind of like a big time gangsta with street cred who.
Or he just really wanted to get out. And
Yeah.
didn't want to do like the whole.
Yeah.
And then this, he's in jail. He's writing music. He has songs written. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be in here. Like, get me out and I'll do some albums.
What do you think, Maxwell?
I don't know.
But from all accounts I've seen, wasn't Suge the one who reached out to him and kind of
That's
offered
what
a
I
deal?
thought, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
But then I was reading something else that was saying that his wife also had like a big stake in the company as well. The Death Row. You got to look more into that.
Maxwell, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what
Because
you're talking about.
his wife might have actually did all
I'm
this stuff
thinking about
behind the
shoes and
scenes.
shit.
Suge's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, Shakur's in jail.
Okay.
So Suge Knight, this big-time player in both
Okay.
the record label industry, rap industry, as well as with street cred,
Mm-hmm.
as being this super tough gangster that everybody's afraid of, he's offering Shakur to put up $1.4 million for Shakur's bail to get him out. But Shakur has to record 3 albums for him. Not 1 album, 3 albums.
This is Suge Knight right here.
Okay.
Are you
that's-
following?
The bigger one.
Okay,
the bigger one.
okay, that's
Maxwell,
Suge.
are you following? He said he would get him out of jail if
So
he recorded
Tupac-
3
yeah.
albums for him.
Tupac's in jail for like 5 or 6 years. He has to be in for
Okay,
5 or
I'm
6
getting
years.
mixed up. Is Shakur is the same person
Is
as
Tupac? Yes.
as Tupac? Because like,
Maxwell Powers, Maxwell Army.
because like throughout this thing, I'm like, she's talking about Shakur all the time. What the hell? This is a Tupac podcast. I'm like, and
Why is he talking
I didn't
about
want to
Shakur
interrupt.
all the time?
I didn't want to
It's a Tupac
interrupt your,
podcast.
Wait, who the fuck is Shakur?
I didn't want to interrupt your.
Yes,
stream.
it's the same guy. Tupac
Okay.
Shakur is in prison.
So can we just stick with Tupac and shit? I don't know. It's
Tupac
just-
Shakur is in prison.
oh, it's Tupac. Oh, that's his fucking last name on his fucking like his rap name is Shakur.
Do you know
so
who-
it's Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
Do you know who Machiavelli is?
Well, that's Tupac, right?
oh, look
No,
at
'cause-
Maxwell
'cause-
paying
wait, 'cause-
attention.
'cause-
Oh, you almost got
Okay,
it there.
yeah, because that was like because you mentioned it like 3 times and shit.
Wait, who's Amaru?
Who the hell is that? Wait, is that the same person?
That's his real
Who's
name,
Mr.
right?
Who's Mr. Crooks?
Man,
Parrish.
I wish he stuck with Lazan and shit. I don't know. Maybe
Lazan
that,
Crooks.
Maybe that wouldn't have stuck.
All right,
but
Maxwell. Lazan Crooks, a.k.a. Tupac Shakur, a.k.a. Machiavelli, is in jail.
okay.
And
And shit
Suge
comes up.
Knight
Yo, I
is,
need
like, recorded
$1.4
3
million to take
No,
you
no,
out.
he's offering to put up the 1.4
A
million.
$1.4 million
But to get Tupac out, but Tupac Shakur
has to agree to make 3 albums with him.
released. Yeah,
And this
Is
is,
that
like
is
this.
that is that a is
that's kind of
is
like
that
the deal.
extortion or what? Or,
Well, it's kind of like the deal. If he agrees
but
to it, it's
what,
not
what do you
extortion.
think of that deal?
I would do
like
it.
Johnny said, if he really wants to get out, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of bargaining, right? Or do we? Maybe they did bargain. How do we know that Suge didn't say
2
5
albums or 5. Yeah.
So-
five albums and Shakur's like 1? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine, 3, final deal. And then Shakur feels pressured. Tupac, Shakur, Lazan,
So-
Crooks, Machiavelli.
So what you're saying is the Suge's
Sugar Knight.
Suge's investment of 1.4 would 100x over time. Is that's what he's hoping for because of Tupac.
Well, if he's the bail is returned, right?
I don't know. Is it? So then you might as well use a credit card.
What's your limit on your credit? Is it 1.4 mil?
10 million, baby. You got the black card.
All right, so here's bail. If you paid cash bail to the court, the full bail amount, you will have that money returned to you after the defendant makes all required court appearances. So if you skip town, you don't get the money back. Or if you're late, whatever, you skip one, you have to make all your court appearances. If the person does not show up in court, the money will be forfeited and you will not see it again. This is from aboutbail.com.
Oh, but he is in jail already.
Yeah, so the only way, so if you can't post bail, you have to stay there for the duration of everything until you get sentenced. throughout everything.
So
but if you post bail, you get to get out and walk around as long as you make your appearances.
and then you get your money back.
If you make all the appearances. So that's
kinda
how
cool.
bail works. Yeah. So the 1.4 million he doesn't lose unless Tupac doesn't show up.
Yeah.
But Tupac doesn't have the 1.4 mil. So he's kind of trapped. So Suge would get the 1.4 mil back if Tupac makes all his court appearances. So to a certain degree, we're talking about criminals here. Is Tupac a criminal? He's a gangsta. Okay, so is there 100% guarantee he's going to make all his court appearances? Maybe not, because what if he gets into some kind of altercation, whatever. So Suge is taking a little bit of a chance because there's a possibility he might not get 1.4 back, but there's a strong possibility he will get the 1.4 back. So this deal is clearly in Suge's favor.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think like Johnny, if he really wanted to get out and be out, especially if he thinks like the court is going to screw him over and he's going to have to stay longer, like he'll probably take, and we don't know the specifics. So maybe Suge wanted 5, Tupac offered 1, which is a little more fair, right? 1's not that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, for $1.4 million, I don't know about 1. You know what I mean?
But if he
In
gets the
terms
money
of
back,
Suge
though,
Knight, yeah.
yeah. But if he gets his
He'll-
bail
he'll
money
get that-
back,
he'll
that
get
just,
that.
it's
True.
kind of like a favor.
Yeah, true.
It's just a favor.
True.
Off topic, but I'm thinking like a conspiracy with like the bill, like if setting up things for you not to make court appearances, so they keep. It's just weird. Like
That would make a good movie.
I know.
I'm sure they did movies better. All right, let's move on. So the attack at Quad Recording Studios. Some people think that this was actually set the stage for Tupac, for the beef that culminated in Tupac's murder. On the night of November 30th, 94, the day before the verdict in his sexual abuse trial was to be announced, Shakur was robbed and shot 5 times. Oh, somebody's trying to prevent him from making his court appearance. He still made it, though.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what is this?
In
Does
his
this have
wheelchair.
something?
Yeah,
So
in his
this,
wheelchair.
so Suge setting it up? Wait, was somebody setting it up so Suge wouldn't get his money back?
Nah.
Or are there details of that deal we don't know where Tupac is like, if I don't make the court appearances and you're out the 1.4 mil, then I'll do the 3 albums. So then Suge is like, oh, let me get this guy shot so he doesn't make it so he can make 3 albums. There's your conspiracy, Maxwell. There's your conspiracy. Or by somebody else. So, or Suge's wife. We don't know any of this.
Saying,
Yeah, we don't know any of this. So Shakur was robbed and shot 5 times by 3 men in the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. Shakur said that he believed the robbery was simply a setup for the attack, wondering why they would take jewelry and leave his Rolex watch. 3 hours after surgery for his wounds, Shakur checked out of the Bellevue Hospital Center against doctor's orders. In the day that followed, he entered the courthouse in a wheelchair. In the verdict hearing for his sexual abuse trial, he was found guilty of 3 counts of molestation and found not guilty of 6 other charges, including sodomy, stemming from his 93 arrest. In a 95 interview with Vibe magazine, Shakur accused Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Jimmy Henchman, and Biggie, among others, of setting up the Quad Recording Studios attack. Vibe changed the names of the accused assailants upon publication. Later evidence did not implicate Biggie in the studio assault. When Biggie's entourage went downstairs to check on the incident, Shakur was being taken out on a stretcher, giving the finger to those around. On March 17, 2008, Chuck Phillips wrote in the LA Times about an alleged order for an attack on Shakur. The article was retracted by the LA Times because it relied partially on FBI documents, which were discovered to have been forged. So we got a pretty big full-on conspiracy here. We got forged FBI documents. Like, what is going on? Did you hear about that before?
Nope. Nope.
Supposedly, the man who supplied the documents had previously been convicted of fraud. In 2011, Dexter Isaac admitted to having attacked Shakur on Henchman's orders. Following Isaac's public confession, Phillips named Isaac as one of his unnamed sources for the retracted article. Be funny if it wasn't. Okay, so prison sentence. Shakur began serving his prison sentence on sexual assault charges at Clinton Correctional Facility on February 14th, 95.
Is that New York? Because I always thought he was in New York.
Yeah, Clinton Correctional Facility is in New York. It's in Dannemora, New York. It's a maximum security state prison. So Shakur began serving his sentence February 14th, 95. Shortly afterward, he released his multi-platinum album, Me Against the World. Shakur became the first artist to have an album at #1 on the Billboard 200 while serving a prison sentence. Tupac's got a lot of records. Me Against the World made its debut on the Billboard 200 and stayed at the top of the charts for 4 weeks. The album sold 240,000 copies in its first week, setting a record for highest first week sales for a solo male rap artist at the time.
Is platinum 100,000 or 1,000,000 copies?
I think platinum is 1,000,000, right?
Okay, and then gold is like 100.
Yeah, platinum means 1,000,000
Is there a diamond?
for albums, 2,000,000 for singles. Gold means 500,000 for albums, 1,000,000 for singles. These are
Okay.
complicated rules for.
I know.
There's different rules for albums or singles.
In case you guys didn't know, watching the podcast, if we hit 100,000 subscribers,
You get a.
we'll get a silver play button. So tell all your friends.
Yeah, let's get
The
that
podcast
silver
will
play
go
button.
silver.
I thought you get a pillow or something.
A
With the play
pillow.
button. Like a play. Like I've seen.
Not everybody falls asleep during podcast, Maxwell.
Wait, but I see.
That's
this.
people buy those as props and stuff for like the background.
Oh, I
No,
thought
you
that was
actually
for
get like a
YouTube.
plaque, like a
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
on
I've seen
YouTube.
that before, but like.
So
I've
this
also seen
podcast will go silver,
that.
maybe platinum.
So let's get the word out. Feel free to share this podcast or any podcast. Just throw up the link on your Facebook, Twitter, or whatever social media and get more people listening to the podcast.
Do a podcast on our podcast, about our podcast.
While serving his sentence, Shakur married his longtime girlfriend, Keisha Morris, on April 4th, 95. The couple divorced in 96. Shakur stated that he married her for the wrong reasons. In an interview after his release, Shakur claimed to have written only one song during his incarceration. What do you think about that, Johnny?
Only one song, so
So what was
I
he
mean,
doing?
he's getting freaky,
Reading
I guess.
Machiavelli.
He's getting freaky with his wife or something.
While imprisoned, Shakur became interested in philosophy of war, and military strategy by studying the works such as The Prince by Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli and The Art of War by Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu. The works inspired his pseudonym, Machiavelli, under which he released the album The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. The album presents a stark contrast to previous works. Throughout the album, Shakur continues to focus on the themes of pain and aggression, making this album one of the emotionally darker works of his career. While in prison, Shakur wrote to Death Row Uncut director Nina Badresher about his plans to begin a new chapter of his life. According to Kevin Powell, who spoke to Shakur following his release from prison, the performer seemed like a completely transformed person. Powell recalled Shakur being more dark and menacing to the extent that Powell wondered whether he had really known him before. Death, the September 96 shooting. On the night of September 7th, 1996, Shakur attended the Bruce Seldon vs. Mike Tyson boxing match with Suge Knight at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. After leaving the match, one of Knight's associates spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, an alleged Crip gang member from Compton, California, in the MGM Grand lobby. Earlier that year, Anderson and a group of Crips had robbed a member of Death Row's entourage in a Foot Locker store. Knight's associate told Shakur, who attacked Anderson, assisted by his and Knight's entourage. There's actually some controversy over whether or not he was even wearing that necklace, the chain, which is kind of weird, right? Because either he was or he wasn't. Why is there so much controversy about that?
They would have like bounties, right? Like to steal, if you could steal their necklace or
Yeah.
whatever, like you get money.
But
for
why
it.
is there so much controversy whether or not he was wearing it or not?
Is it something to do with the photo? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, different people said different stories that were there. Either he was wearing it or he wasn't, or they just simply recognized him.
There's a
because
video, there's security footage. I think he does have it like dangling on his neck. No,
I can't tell. It's grainy.
It's black and white. Yeah, you can see the stomping though.
Yeah, you can see the stomping. The fight was captured on the hotel's video surveillance. After the brawl, Shakur went with Knight to Death Row-owned Club 662. Shakur rode in Knight's 1996 black BMW 750 IL sedan as part of a larger convoy. At 11 to 11:05 p.m., they were halted on Las Vegas Boulevard by Metro Bicycle Police for playing the car stereo too loudly and not having license plates. The license plates were found in the trunk of Knight's car, and the party was released without being ticketed. Isn't that also kind of weird? Why would they let him go without ticketing? The plates have to be on the vehicle. Having them inside, not on display, how does that help?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, why would they not have the plates on so that nobody would know
It was
who
them,
they
I
were,
guess.
or like,
I don't know.
and how was the car there? Was it actually his? Because what I'm like, they flew there, right? Or did he have like a place he could keep his car, or like?
I don't know. We're gonna have to dissect
This
all
is
of
just
the vehicles.
the introduction, right?
Yeah. At 11:15 p.m., when they were at a stoplight, a white four-door late-model Cadillac with unknown occupants pulled up to the right side of Shakur's sedan. Someone inside rapidly fired gunshots at Shakur. He was hit 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh. One of the bullets went into Shakur's right lung. Knight was hit in the head by fragmentation. Shakur's bodyguard, Frank Alexander, was not in the vehicle. He said that Shakur had asked him to drive the car of Shakur's girlfriend, Kidada Jones. After arriving at the scene, police and paramedics took Knight and the wounded Shakur to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. According to an interview with music director Gobi, while at the hospital, Shakur received news from a death row marketing employee that the shooters had called the record company and threatened Shakur. Gobi informed the Las Vegas police, but said that the police claimed to be understaffed. No attackers came. At the hospital, Shakur was heavily sedated, placed on life support machines, and ultimately was put under a barbiturate-induced coma to keep him in bed. While in the intensive care unit on the afternoon of September 13th, 96, Shakur died from internal bleeding. He was pronounced dead at 4:03 p.m.
I wonder what happened from that point on until then. He was put in an induced coma?
Yeah. Some people say he talked to them, though. So
Yeah,
well,
he had to have said something, right?
Yeah.
Like, was any of that released? Because he did leave the hospital on the previous shooting. He was done 3 hours after he left.
Yeah. The official cause of death were noted as respiratory failure and cardiopulmonary arrest in connection with multiple gunshot wounds. What's interesting is statements at the time said this: emergency surgery at Universal Medical Center saved Shakur's life that night, and in the days following, doctors announced that his chances of recovery had improved. So is there a conspiracy that someone got to him at the hospital? There's also a crazy conspiracy theory that Shakur was willing to testify against some people. He went into witness protection, but most people that know Shakur said he would never do that because he hated the police and authorities. Unless they somehow convinced him that maybe Suge wanted to kill him and they had some kind of proof so that he couldn't get out alive. I mean, even then, he was pretty crazy, right? So he might have still said no, right?
What if they were just blanks?
That shot him?
Yeah. Just to, like, fake this whole thing. No, he got hit in the head with something, though.
Suge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been, like, a blank or something.
On September 13th, 1996, however, TUPAC Shakur died of his wounds. Shakur's body was cremated the next day. Some of his ashes were purportedly later mixed with marijuana and smoked by members of the Outlaws.
Wait. He died, and then the next day they cremated him.
Yeah.
So when did they do the autopsy? Because there's autopsy photo.
Well, they have a day to do the autopsy, right?
Just one day.
Well, it only takes a couple. How long does it take to do an
I
autopsy?
don't know. It just seems kind of quick. Because they say supposedly that photo is real of his autopsy photo.
Some of his ashes were purportedly later mixed with marijuana and smoked by members of the Outlaws. However, Idi Amin claimed in 2014 interviews that the ashes did not belong to Shakur. So they were smoking somebody else's ashes?
They really smoked?
It looks like he
somebody's
admitted that he
ashes?
smoked ashes, but he said that it didn't belong to Shakur. That's kind of weird, right? So he'd admitted to smoking somebody's ashes. His fifth album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, was released 2 months later, and numerous other posthumous albums followed. The aftermath. In 2002, the LA Times published a 2-part story by investigative reporter Chuck Phillips titled Who Killed Tupac Shakur, based on year-long research that reconstructed the crime and the events leading up to it. Information gathered by the paper indicated that the shooting was carried out by a Compton gang called the Southside Crips to avenge the beating of one of its members by Shakur a few hours earlier. Orlando Anderson, the Crip who Shakur had attacked, fired the fatal shots. Las Vegas police discounted Anderson as a suspect and interviewed him only once briefly. He was later killed in an unrelated gang shooting. The article also reported the involvement of East Coast rapper the Notorious B.I.G., Shakur's rival at the time, and several New York criminals. What's also interesting is Orlando Anderson had a few different interviews. One of them is on video, and he's obviously lying like the entire video. Like, he said he was home in L.A. when he was actually on video in the fight in the Vegas, and his lawyer is with him in the interview. We'll go over the interview in the following episodes. His lawyer's with him, and he kind of tells the interviewer, don't ask that. Because they got him on video on the on the MGM Grand Security.
Yeah.
And in another interview, he actually says he's not even a gang member, which is kind of funny, because he was a well-known gang member at the time. Like, supposedly he had a lot of street cred. Wow. Before they died, the Notorious B.I.G. and Anderson denied any role in the murder. In support of their claims, Biggie's family produced computerized invoices suggesting that he was working in a New York recording studio the night of the drive-by shooting. His manager, Wayne Barrow, and fellow rapper Lil Cease, James Lloyd, made public announcements denying Biggie's role in the crime and claimed further that they were with him in the recording studio the night of the event. The New York Times called the evidence inconclusive, noting, the pages purport to be 3 computer printouts from Daddy's house, indicating that Wallace was in the studio recording a song called Nasty Boy on the afternoon Shakur was shot. They indicate that Wallace wrote half the session and was in and out, sat around and laid down a ref, shorthand for a reference vocal, the equivalent of a first take, but nothing indicates when the documents were created. And Louis Alfred, the recording engineer listed on the sheets, said in an interview that he remembered recording the song with Wallace in a late-night session, not during the day. He would not recall the date of the session, but said it was likely not the night Shakur was shot. We would have heard about it, Mr. Alfred said. In 2011, pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, the FBI released documents revealing its investigation of the Jewish Defense League for making death threats against Shakur and other rappers. You know about this, Johnny?
Nope.
We got sealed FBI documents. This is quite a conspiratorial episode. Since his death, Tupac has become an international martyr, a symbol on the level of Bob Marley. Do you know who Bob Marley is, Maxwell?
Some reggae dude.
So how do you know Bob Marley and not Tupac?
Red wine.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy. Or Che Guevara, whose life has inspired Tupacistas on the streets of Brazil, memorial murals in the Bronx in Spain, and bandana-wearing youth gangs in South Africa. Vinyl ain't final. Hip-hop and globalization of black popular culture.
It's
That
funny,
came
it's like
from
Che Guevara was, I think, from Cuba. And people think he went to Cuba.
Many consider him the most influential rapper of all time. For this reason, it also gave rise to conspiracy theories that any major revolutionary who has the power to tip the balance against the status quo or the man must be taken out, like JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., etc. So also, 6 months after Tupac's death on March 9th, 97, the Notorious B.I.G. was killed in a drive-by shooting by an unknown assailant in Los Angeles, California. By the way, this assailant has been named since. And some people theorize that Suge Knight, the retaliation against Tupac, since Tupac was kind of Suge Knight's right-hand man, and Notorious B.I.G. was Sean Combs' right-hand man, that was the retaliation, was to kill Notorious B.I.G. In 2018, Eminem, do you know who that is, Maxwell?
I like Eminem. I like his rap.
Is that the chocolate or? I got a laptop in my back pocket.
Oh, he's got a chocolate song? I don't know about that.
In 2018, Eminem released the diss track Kill Shot, in which Eminem makes reference to Diddy being responsible for putting the hit out that got Pac killed.
Oh, is that what he was talking about?
Yeah.
He says that, I'm sorry, Diddy. Or
Yeah.
something like that at the end of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shot, that was against Machine Gun Kelly. They had like a little beef going on.
Say it again. What's he apologizing for?
Say that again. You worded it better.
He's saying that Eminem makes reference to Diddy being responsible for putting the hit out that got Pac killed.
Oh, no kidding.
Why would he include that? That's funny.
Well, supposedly this is common knowledge among like the rap circles.
It's just the
And
song
again-
had nothing to do with that, I don't think. The song was more about a diss against this other rapper.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Here's a funny article from Rolling Stone. Well, funny depending on how you define funny. May 23rd, 2014 by Ryan Reed. Tupac's final words revealed by police officer on the scene of the murder. So these might not have been his final words because some people said that he did say something in the hospital. Possibly multiple somethings. But retired Las Vegas Sergeant Chris Carroll was the first responder to the rapper's 96 shooting. The first police officer at the scene of Tupac's 96 drive-by murder has revealed the last words spoken by the late rap legend, and they're not exactly peaceful. He looked at me and he took a breath to get the words out, and he opened his mouth, says Chris Carroll, a retired sergeant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And then the words came out, F you. He's been listening to that to the Ice Cube song. So I grab him with my left arm and he falls into me, and I've still got my gun in the other hand, the officer tells Vegas 7. He's covered with blood, and I immediately notice that the guy's got a ton of gold on, a necklace and other jewelry, and all of the gold is covered in blood. That has always left an image in my mind. And as Suge is yelling, Pac, I look down and I realize that this is Tupac Shakur. And then I saw his face. In his movements, all of a sudden, in the snap of a finger, he changed, he says. And he went from struggling to speak, being non-cooperative, to I'm an at peace type of thing, just like that. And that's when I looked at him and said one more time, who shot you? I thought I was actually going to get some cooperation, and then the words came out, F you. And this information came out in 2014 because now he's retired, so he doesn't feel the need to hold that information back. I don't know. And also, this specific police officer apparently doesn't like Tupac. He said he didn't want Tupac to be a martyr or a hero because this is what he told the police. It's kind of weird. You know what else is weird? So Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, supposedly he, again, this is just a rumor. I couldn't find a source on this. It was reported that he'd take a lie detector test to prove his innocence, but he was killed shortly after that. So LAPD officer Greg Kading, who actually investigated Notorious B.I.G.'s murder, became involved in the Tupac investigation. And he said that Keefe D, the uncle of Orlando Anderson, confessed. So he said this, after the altercation at the MGM, Orlando licked his wounds and found his uncle, Keefe D. Keefe D was with some characters from New York, including a guy named Zip. They had a conversation about how Orlando was attacked by Tupac and they planned retaliation. However, they didn't take any guns out there. So Zip, who did have a gun, offered his, got hold of the Glock 40 caliber gun and handed it to Keefe D, and off they went in search of Tupac and Suge. So Keefe D doesn't specifically name Orlando Anderson, but he says the shooting came from the back seat.
So I got these. I wrote down some mug quotes.
That's what you're doing instead of paying attention to the podcast?
This was a while ago. So I have that would make a good movie. What do I think about what? Who's James Renner? Who's that again? And Tupac is dead.
Oh my god.
Question mark?
Tupac and Shakur are the same person?
What's that?
So that's a diagram of who was in the car based on Keefe D's confession.
So Suge Knight, Tupac. This is their BMW.
I see. Orlando. Wait, who's that other dude?
So he names Terrence Brown, T. Brown, and DeAndre Smith, Dr. Dre. Keefe D is saying that, Dr. Dre was in the back seat with them.
Damn.
Oh.
DeAndre Smith. So
Not
yeah,
funny,
he alleges, Keefe
weird.
D alleges that Orlando was in the back seat and Keefe D was supposed to shoot Tupac, but for whatever reason either lost his nerve or whatever. So Orlando grabbed the gun from him and shot across through the driver's side window to shoot Tupac. So there's a lot of problems with the logistics of this whole thing. Some people say that Keefe D actually shot him and that he just blamed Orlando because Orlando was dead. So it's kind of weird. There's a lot of weird issues.
So Dre
with
was
this
in
case.
there. I wonder if he had ever said anything about that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
there's
what he said.
Yeah, that's what Keefe D said.
That's what
correct.
he's saying.
So
That
this is
doesn't mean it's-
only Keefe D's words.
Yeah, yeah.
And then also supposedly Orlando Anderson did brag about it in LA, and everybody in LA knew that he had shot him. But other people say that if he had really shot him, people that were loyal to Tupac would have killed him. So how did he live for so? We don't know. There's a lot of this case.
Yeah.
There's definitely more than meets the eye to this case, as well as other cases. So it is a mystery, and there've been quite a few documentaries that have come out recently that kind of go with the Keefe D story and Orlando Anderson. We're going to dissect them and also look at anomalies within those stories as well, and examine other possibilities. So we hope you enjoyed another edition of MindShock True Crime. If you like our podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. If you like the video, leave any questions, comments, requests, and we will look at them. And make sure to like our Facebook page as well. And check us out on Twitter, Reddit, and Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off.
And Maxwell Powers.
And Johnny Mills.
We'll see you guys next time. Okay, so let's start the deep dive here. We can't do it without first addressing Tupac. So I know a lot of people have Tupac as the #1 rapper of all time. And I don't know if they are going to like what I'm about to play. Was gangsta rap a CIA operation to glorify the gang life? I mean, this is a major question. Was Tupac simply controlled opposition? An actor? Is there evidence of this? Was Tupac the controlled op and DMX the real deal? Let's examine here. Let's examine. So, this is a video the industry hoax revealed. I think people might be familiar with this. For those that aren't, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but we're going to go through some of it here.
From birth, Tupac would be utilized as an agent provocateur, a mere stepping stone in the path of lies. In the revitalization of the Black Power movements, he was appropriately named after a revolutionary leader because he was being primed since birth to adopt this role as an adversary to the government. We have seen these characters being created and introduced to the public each decade in order to commence a revolutionary movement or thought. Then they are killed off and reaffirmed as martyr figures, serving as an example of what happens when you disobey the government.
I mean, that's a lot to unload right there. But the industry hoax here claiming that there are all of these major figures are plants, are manufactured plants, and he is also claiming the same of Tupac Shakur, the son of a Black Panther, primed since birth for this role in the stage known as the world.
Ranging from MLK to Rosa Parks to Huey P. Newton, agents are issued out to carry out psyops. Time and time again, these figures come from families with connections to government agencies and exhibited as political activists, publicly killed off and marketed as martyrs, with their stories being sold off into each new generation to bolster the anti-government heroism and the understanding of the effects of anti-government activism. But let's start from the beginning.
Wikipedia tells us Tupac was born a month after his mother was acquitted of 156 charges of conspiracy against the United States government and New York landmarks in the Panther 21 trial.
I mean, is this all coincidental? Is it all coincidental? The coincidence theorists will say yes. But let's dive deeper here, because if it's not coincidental, I mean, call me crazy, but if all of these are not simple coincidences, what does it all mean?
After this long and torturous trial, we get this tidbit from the New York Times article announcing the acquittal. There wasn't enough evidence after 8 months? What were they doing for 8 months? Oh yeah, reading Mao and getting refills on popcorn. The prosecution should have had piles and piles of evidence, all the evidence they collected in order to charge the defendants with 156 counts of conspiracy against the US government. Also ridiculous is the fact that Tupac's mom represented herself in the trial, refusing to use an attorney. We are supposed to believe a poor farmer girl from North Carolina successfully defended herself in the New York Supreme Court against 156 charges of conspiracy?
I was rearrested along with 21 other members of the Black Panther Party on charges of conspiracy to murder some pigs, and attacks against our party still escalated.
I'm gonna have to say the coincidence stack is very high here. I mean, it is very, very high in this trial.
Other actors included the prosecutors from the DA's office, Joseph Phillips and Jeffrey Weinstein, and the judge, Charles Marks. Those names tell you everything you need to know.
We got Weinsteins and Marxes in this trial. I mean, this is really bonkers. I mean, this is really bonkers stuff here. Are we all to believe that this is all coincidental?
Marks had earlier presided over the Malcolm X murder trial, which was another fake trial. The Panther 21 bombing plot was a hoax coordinated by the equally fake CIA-created Black Panther movement. The fact that Tupac's parents were involved in this hoax and the Black Panthers is enough to out him as a spook.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say that's enough. I mean, various agents have children. That is true. Now, I mean, obviously the coincidence stack's about to get a whole lot higher, and on the merit of that, we can possibly make some connections.
Tupac Shakur was not his real name. This is an immediate and glaring red flag.
I actually mentioned this on the Tupac Shakur podcast I did. His real name is Lizanne Parrish Crooks. Crooks? His what kind of a last name is Crooks? Are they crooks? Some people also think that Tupac was born female, and other people say that he was effeminate and flamboyant, but we'll get to all that.
Saying even his real name is a mystery since neither of his parents were crooks. His mother was born Alice Faye Williams, and his father was born William Garland. So where did crooks come from? We aren't told.
We are told by Tupac's alleged father, Billy Garland, that Tupac was the product of a short affair that he had with a Feni at a Black Panther office. So who is Lassane Crooks? There are no real government-known records of a Lassane Crooks.
Affair at an office? What does that mean? Like, what were those offices used for? The Black Panther Party had official offices, and what were they being used for?
It is also possible Tupac was never Afeni's biological son. Looking at the younger Afeni, one would think she could pass for a lesbian. I also found an article about Afeni in a magazine called Dyke. In this article, Afeni appears in the section called Dykes Behind Bars. She was allegedly...
Wait, seriously? You can't make this stuff up, people. There's a... Wow. Like, this was an actual magazine, and Tupac Shakur's mother is featured in this magazine. Are people still following here? Is everyone still following? And yes, this is very necessary because we are laying the groundwork on why Tupac might have been the manufactured fraud and DMX might be the real deal.
Cellmates with an inmate named Carol Crooks. This is the only link between Tupac's alleged real name.
So, hold on. Call me crazy, but is it possible for two lesbians to have a child? So she has a relationship with another female. Okay. So now we have to ask the question. We might need Matt Walsh in here. What is a woman? I mean, who is male? Who is truly male and who is truly female? So here's a pattern that's been emerging, right, the past few years. All the conspiracy theorists are always called crazy. And when it seems like the crazier the supposedly crazier the conspiracy, the more they're derided and chastised. However, just a few short years or sometimes months later, it turns out the conspiracy is true. So all of this gender swapping, all these gender swapping facades, is there some truth to this?
This section states Crooks continued to spend time in and out of correctional facilities as a young woman. Afeni became close to Crooks.
How do these two women at a women's prison have a kid? I mean, am I simply not logical enough to figure this out? Can anybody in the chat help me figure this out? I mean, I don't want to be rude here, but let's go back to this clip. Let's go back to this clip here. Am I crazy, or does she have a mustache there?
The New York Supreme Court against 156 charges of conspiracy.
I was rearrested along with 21 other men.
Am I crazy, or is that is that kind of a stash? Yeah, we do have some astute mind shockers in the chat here. Justin Johnson stating conjugal visits can be magical. Good point. Joyce B saying prison guard hanky panky. Yeah, that is curious. Now, are there usually male guards in a women's prison? Because from that clip, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it would depend on the prison. But if they were all female guards... Yeah, I mean, that kind of jumped out at me. I didn't want to really point it out, but now we have to. Now we really have to. We can zoom in even more here. I mean, DMX seems awfully curious about that stash. He's looking right at it on the screen right here. $16 Alpha saying, Mind Shock, you have lived up to your channel name today. We're just getting started, $16 Alpha V. This is just the beginning. You haven't even seen the bulk of receipts I'm about to bring on DMX possibly being the most influential individual that can bring down the cabal. Mario C in the chat saying, she reminds me of Chris Tucker from The Fifth Element. I didn't see that, but now that you mention it, whoa, now it cannot be unseen. Let me bring up an image to compare. I wonder if there is a Chris Tucker... I wonder if there's a Chris Tucker, TUPAC Shakur connection. Maybe. I mean, definitely the nose. The nose is similar. I mean, yeah, Chris Tucker's sporting a little bit of a stash there as well. Yeah, Prince for sure. Prince for sure. Trying to get an image of him wearing glasses. If only he had the same kind of frames. Prince and Tupac look very similar as well. I mean, why wouldn't there be artists who got hoodwinked into the cabal and then resented that and wanted to blow the whistle in whatever way they could? Prince's nose is actually different. I thought his nose would be a little bit more similar, but the facial features. Wow. Lord Zed saying that her mustache is still thicker than Tucker's. Alright. Well, let's continue here.
Fenny appears in the section called Dykes Behind Bars. She was allegedly cellmates with an inmate named Carol Crooks. This is the only link between Tupac's alleged real name. This section states Crooks continued to spend time in and out of correctional facilities as a young woman. Afeni became close to Crooks.
Yeah, that was a female guard there in the background.
In the book Evolution of a Revolutionary, it states, Afeni continues, and the women in the party chose to stay away from me too. Their Panther men would tell them things about me like Afeni's a freak and Afeni's gay or Afeni's weird.
Wait, are they saying Afeni is effeminate? Effeminate Afeni? I don't know, man. I don't know, this is weird.
Women didn't want that association. Especially being gay, because then you don't get Panther men. But this is something I learned later. I also think they gave Afeni and Tupac a nose ring to force the mind into thinking like mother like son, to make them resemble each other. It's a clever mind trick, but in reality, they're not mother and son.
Crooks.
This is getting really, really weird. This is getting very, very weird.
We're told his mother made up the name when she filled out his birth certificate.
DMX is not happy about what's on the screen right now.
So that he'd be harder for her enemies to find and track. But this explanation makes no sense, since we were already told Alice Afeni was acquitted of 156 charges in a very high-profile case just 2 months before Tupac was born. That means she was in custody during most of her pregnancy. We're also told the FBI was surveilling her before her arrest as part of its COINTELPRO operations. Did she really think they'd just stop tracking her the moment she was acquitted? In any event, did she really think the FBI couldn't figure out what she named her son? And that still doesn't explain why she chose the name Crooks. If you really wanted to throw off the feds, would you pick that name?
Well, also, would it really throw off the feds, though? Because if it's... they would know who her cellmate is. I mean, that's kind of, this is kind of criminology 101. Who did someone share a cell with? Because obviously they might have talked to him.
She may as well named him burglar or arsonist.
The Panther 21 trials were a hoax, so this would make Afeni's prison time fake, and we were given entertainment identities. Therefore Tupac's real legal birth name is unknown and never will be publicly disclosed. Some CIA operatives assume fake names to match the documents. I believe from birth Tupac was given a fake identity and pushed through the public school system, while behind the scenes he was privately taught. How can you tell someone is a CIA agent? This person says I can't think of one trait that all agents have. The two in my immediate family are extremely eloquent and well-spoken. They are really into politics and know what's going on in the world. Both speak a foreign language. Both have one of those faces that could fit in anywhere and a good understanding of what makes people tick. If Tupac was an agent provocateur with a fake identity, then it's likely he wasn't really 25 years old. Why would the CIA give us real personal information if it's an operation? Let's take his social security number for example. He was allegedly born in New York. His social security number is said to be 546-47-8539. As we look up how social security numbers were given, it says prior to 1973, social security numbers were assigned by our field offices. The number merely established that his or her card was issued by one of our offices in that state. Tupac was allegedly born in 1971. The first numbers of the social security number for people born in New York are 050134, but Tupac's social security number is listed as him being born in California, with the number of 545573.
Wow, Industry Hoax really did their homework here. I mean, they are going through all of this. This is very, very interesting stuff.
Which means the created number is one of someone that's born in California, not New York. Another thing I find odd is, Tupac's alleged birth certificate was issued at the start of his career. As if they're saying Tupac Shakur, the rapper, was born. At the same time, Death Row Records was established. To me, the Black Panther operation was over, and now they're implementing it into hip-hop to further push the racial tension with Tupac.
I'm gonna replay that section again.
050134, but Tupac's social security number is listed as him being born in California, with the number of 545573, which means the created number is one of someone that's born in California, not New York. Another thing I find odd is, Tupac's alleged birth certificate was issued at the start of his career.
Now, is that when they issued that particular copy? Or is there no other copy? In which case, does Tupac not even have a legitimate birth certificate? It is kind of weird because I believe this birth certificate on the screen that they found, I think that is the earliest available one. And it does say Tupac Amaru Shakur. So where does Lazanne Crooks come from? I mean, this is quite weird. It says that Afeni legally changed his name 1 year later. So how come nobody has the original birth certificate? This is kind of weird. And why is the issue date there's two different issue dates. On a later issue date happens to match.
As if they're saying Tupac Shakur, the rapper, was born. At the same time, Death Row Records was established.
I mean, this is kind of weird. I mean, the coincidence stack is getting crazy, and we're still pretty early in the podcast.
The Black Panther operation was over, and now they're implementing it into hip-hop to further push the racial tension with Tupac. In my mind, Death Row Records was never meant to have longevity.
Joyce B., apparently all school records would have Tupac Shakur because she changed his name to Tupac Shakur 1 year after birth. So the only records that would have his Lizanne Crooks name would be his original birth certificate, all of the hospital records, and any records up to 1 year after birth would all say Crooks on them. Now, she claimed to have, these are the claims. It's claimed she changed his name to Tupac Shakur 1 year after birth. I don't see any records or documentation of this. So I guess we don't really know, though. Yeah, I mean, there seem to be a lot of missing records here.
This is why the main acts were Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Tupac. Everyone else lacks the promotion, as the stage was only being set for Tupac.
Layla introducing Adrian Gregory, who was managing Digital Underground. He was like, I'm gonna send you to Digital Underground. They're in the studio. You just rap for Shock G on the spot. If you like you, then I'll pick you up. Yeah, I just walked in, rap for him. He's like, okay, good, you're in. Boom, boom, boom. I'll see you later.
Hey, let me tell you one of my favorite Tupac stories. When Tupac was in his mother's womb, I was selling Black Panther newspapers to raise money to get out of prison.
Wow. Yeah, my father was in the Black Panther Party, and I actually was raised in the Black Panther Party.
There's the real connection. Money B's father was also in the Black Panthers, so this was not an ordinary walk-in and rap for Shock G. There's a prior connection that connects all the key players. This is why Tupac was accepted so fast. Let's get back to Tupac's alleged mother.
Intellia's search of Alice Faye Williams pulls her up as Alice Faye Williams. Note the misspelled middle name. We know it's her because it says she worked at the Black Panther Party. Right, as if it were a business and she was on the payroll. It doesn't show her being related to Tupac, Jarrell, or her husband at the time of her death, Gus Davis, which is odd. It does show her being related to a Janice Williams, and an Intellia search on Janice shows her being related, in turn, to an Alice Burleson. An Intellia search on that name brings up an Alice Faye Burleson, age 70, who has also worked at the Black Panther Party. Intellius is clearly messing with us, sending us off on a wild goose chase for the fun of it. All of this points to the obvious observation that names are being intentionally fudged and hidden with no good explanation. Tupac's body was quickly cremated with no funeral. Maybe they thought his family members weren't good enough actors to fake sadness at his fake funeral. Think of the transparent absurdity of the Michael Jackson funeral, where the kids, especially, never had the right face on.
Man, obviously a Michael Jackson rabbit hole podcast is long overdue, but yeah, well, welcome Sphinx Bear Jane Creek in here. You guys have missed quite a few things, but we are examining whether or not DMX is what people believe Tupac was. The genuine realist rapper. Was Tupac a manufactured shill plant? And was DMX for real?
And thus, having the service would risk giving away the whole thing. The cremation bit sounds like a half-baked story to explain away there being no funeral. Tupac not dying also explains the inconsistencies in his coroner's report, such as the fact that it lists his weight as 215 pounds, while his driver's license says 168 pounds.
I mean, I don't know. Did he go on the Suge Knight diet? But how quickly would that diet have increased his weight? I mean, how sloppy is all of this, though? How sloppy is this? Yes, Kill the Bank. I have been preparing a Michael Jackson podcast actually for several years now. It is going to be very comprehensive. I have a few audio recordings that people might not have heard. Apparently, when some of these industry insiders decide to blow the whistle, they get killed. I mean, what a shocker.
That's a pretty big difference. In fact, it's a difference of 47 pounds. Other skeptics say this was a slip-up by the forgers, but it's not a slip-up at all. It's an intentional signal. 47 is year one of the CIA, and we have seen that number all over the place with these projects.
Okay, is that a bridge too far? In the chat, what does everybody think? Do people think a 47-pound discrepancy? I think we need a poll on this. We definitely need a poll. I mean, the coincidence stack's already a mile high. The question is, though, who is it a signal to? Unless this is all revelation of the method. Naps1, have you checked out the MindShock Predictive Programming podcast? Mr. 1-to-1 says the 47-pound discrepancy sounds like someone got my takeaway order wrong. Yeah, but Tupac didn't really look that different throughout. You know, it didn't look like his weight fluctuated. I mean, I'll bring up an image here. I mean, there's no way this guy is in the 230s. Wow, that's a big picture. Yeah, this guy is not 230. This guy's not. I mean, maybe pushing 200, but at 6 feet tall, maybe not. If I had to guess, I'd probably guess around 180, between 170 and 180. at his height. I mean, a 47-pound difference? I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, everybody fluctuates a couple pounds, but not 47. I mean, he always kind of had that frame. I mean, he never got muscular, he never got fat. He had a very similar frame for pretty much his entire life from everything I've seen. I mean, sure, he might have been a couple pounds lighter, sure, in his earlier days, but I mean, even in his this is supposedly the last known picture. So Suge Knight is 265. Now, I don't know how much he fluctuated, but do people really think that Tupac is only about 30 pounds lighter than Suge? Suge is gigantic. I mean, this is a huge discrepancy. This is a huge discrepancy. 53% of the chat said that it was a clear signal of something. We might not know to whom or for what reason, but it seems to have been a signal. Heracles in the chat here. You missed quite a lot. You missed quite a lot. But yeah, let's continue.
On Twitter, the CIA continues mocking the public, tweeting, "No, we don't know where Tupac is."
Wait, what? There's no way that's real. That was from the official CIA Twitter account? Wow. Okay, the 47-pound discrepancy is starting to look a lot less like a coincidence. I mean, that's kind of weird.
Notice the date of the tweet, July 7, 2014, the 7th month, the 7th day, 2014, 2 plus 0, plus 1, plus 4, equals 7, there's the 777. They're laughing at the fans. The CIA knows exactly where Tupac is.
For further evidence, when they first released Tupac's coroner's report, they blacked out the first 3 and last 4 digits of Tupac's SSN, but leaves the middle 2 visible. Guess what those numbers are? 47.
Okay. Wow. Okay, we are firmly in MINDSHOCK land. Now, again, I was actually leaning slightly to the coincidence side for most of this. But this is the bridge too far for me. I mean, this is tough to write this all off. I mean, this is quite tough. This is quite tough to simply write off. The middle 2 numbers of his social are 47. The first 3 are 546, which don't match New York, but rather California. I mean, this is tough. This is tough.
Why wouldn't they just black out his entire SSN?
That's a good point. That is a good point. Unless, obviously, it wasn't even him, but...
Because it's a signal. It's marking this whole charade as an intelligence project.
He literally was not who he claimed to be.
The hell is he wearing there? The hell is that?
It was all a role, a characterization. The same for his alleged mother. Agents are issued out to carry out psyops that mislead and misinform the general public and keep them unaware as to the actual agenda taking place. This Tupac character served more than one role. His was to be both an instrument in the collapse of the black community, an advocate for government antagonism, and to make rap mainstream. His alleged family and lineage are not as heroic and prim of the heart-tugging Black Panther narrative that's been told.
Joyce B in the chat saying it looks like a Victoria-type bustier.
Tupac comes from a bloodline of informants who have worked for the CIA. Notice how all of the Shakurs are under
Mr. 1-to-1 in the chat saying that's a pussy-proof vest, bro. Wow, that's messed up. Jane Creek saying Tupac was most likely gonna play Mace Windu in a film where an evil lord seizes power through a series of false flag attacks. This is after becoming a conspiracy theorist. That just came to mind. $16 Alpha V saying, so Agent 47 of the Hitman video game series was inspired by Tupac. You know, that's actually curious. I didn't even put that together either, but yeah, you got a good point there.
Aliases and are not their actual government names. It is only to give an indication that they are fulfilling a role and are characters being used in these movements. Tupac, Afeni, Asada, etc. all Shakurs, all under aliases rather than their real government names, and coincidentally all have ties to the Central Intelligence Agency. Tupac refusing conjugal visits from his alleged wife was another red flag. Instead, he's worried about what fans think. This doesn't sound realistic, and it's not, which is why Tupac's alleged ex-wife had a handler that was talking for her. Listen to the stuttering, it's all lies.
Conjugal relationship between the two of them while he was incarcerated.
A lot of people would think it was a marriage of convenience, and that, but they decided not to.
He didn't want to. He didn't marry me just for that sole purpose or anything like that. He married me because he loved me.
Okay.
You know, definitely from...
That is kind of weird how she kept looking at that lady every second. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Looking at him wasn't necessarily like...
Am I the only one looking at her throat there? What's going on with her throat there?
Like the type of cat that I would even like. Lee.
Yeah, Jada's throat.
Him.
I don't want to get the stream shut down, but
wasn't.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but I don't think that's just from working out a lot. Again, call me crazy. Call me crazy. Now, I think this is a good time to do this. Just give me a second. I'm going to bring up some reference photos here. So females do have muscles in the larynx as well. So there are a lot of crazy people on Twitter just saying that every woman is a man. But let's actually do a proper investigation here. So here are the muscles of the larynx. So if you see the here, I'll circle it on the screen here. So you see these muscles here. They're clearly well-defined muscles here and here and here. So these are normal female muscles just from either working out or having low percent body fat. Those are all completely normal, even on a female. And to drive this point home, so even a female bodybuilder, for example, will have really big muscles all over the neck. So you can see here, if you look at her neck, you see these muscles on the side here. However, there is also the matter of something called an Adam's apple. Obviously, Adam refers to the first man. And this is actually thyroid cartilage is what it consists of. So it is not a muscle. Now, it is possible, obviously, to shave it down. And obviously, I guess with modern surgery, notice how this female bodybuilder either doesn't have that Adam's apple or it was completely shaved down. Either way, this isn't something that you can just write off as trachea muscles, or you see the muscles underneath. There are also trachea muscles with Joyce B. Are you talking about the female bodybuilder? Because she does not appear to have an Adam's apple. Because once again, that's cartilage, not muscle. And then there are also the trachea can be defined horizontally as well. I mean, here's just the first image of a triathlete I found. Not the most flattering image, but you can see her neck here. She's got a pretty defined trachea. But apparently no cartilage popping out like an Adam's apple. But obviously this triathlete is extremely low percent body fat, so you would see all the muscles in the neck, the trachea, etc. But it appears she does not have any Adam's apple popping out. So now when we're watching this video of Jada, I mean, what... I mean, are people going to claim that that's some kind of shadow on the video? I'm not sure. Again, I do not claim anything is true or untrue.
Like the type. He married me just for that sole purpose or anything like that. He married me because he loved me.
Okay.
You know, definitely from looking at him, wasn't necessarily like the type of cat that I would even like.
So it was so it may have been shaved down to not be as prominent as on an actual male. But again, I do not claim anything is true or untrue. DMX does not appear happy about any of this on this screen. Kill the bank, catch you next time.
Deal with, you know.
So far Tupac is not having sex with any of these women, yet they tell us he had every porn star lined up to have sex with him during his video shoot. So far Tupac does not fit that description, and if it's true, it only makes him bisexual. Tupac supposedly dated Madonna.
Wow. And that's another huge rabbit hole there.
Who was the biggest icon for the LGBTQ.
Also notice Madonna, at least in that image there does not appear to be any Adam's apple proliferation.
Madonna. She was also one of the first major superstars to show support for the gay community. Tupac allegedly being with Madonna sounds like an inside Hollywood joke.
I'm very intrigued by bisexuality and homosexuality.
But the idea of two men having sex is still such an abhorrent idea to so many people. I think that two men having sex is erotic.
Most of Tupac's style was pulled directly from females. The nose ring is feminine. How he wore his bandana was pulled from a female, perhaps Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, that's an interesting image there, too, of the masculine woman. It's also kind of hard to see Tupac's Adam's apple as well, even though obviously he's pretty slim. I mean, there's something there, but it's hard to tell. Very difficult. If it's there, it's not very pronounced at all.
Or Aunt Jemima. Physiognomists, who believed that physical appearance and mannerisms were evidence of one's character, failures of manhood, such as homosexuality. Take a look at the pictures.
What the heck? Amaru is also the double-headed serpent. Of South American civilizations, Inca, Andean, either the feathered serpent, the plumed serpent. Some people think the land of America is the land of the serpent.
Tupac's posture doesn't look very masculine, yet when he's around other men he appears to be more masculine. This switch is one to take note of. The industry pointing at Tupac's sexuality once again. Chino XL calling him bisexual.
All you hear is ambulance sirens and pot bisexual ass crying on Opal like he Dennis Rodman.
Hot bisexual ass crying on Opal like he Dennis Rodman.
Black 100 commented saying, Tupac, rapist, half gay. Trey Songz sent out a tweet associating Tupac with homosexuality, saying, if I'm gay, then Tupac is bringing me an ounce for this session with Biggie. The movie Friday After Next, they associated Tupac with a gay character, as if there were no other relevant rappers in 2002. They staged Jussie Smollett's attack story in the media for promotion. Jussie said at a concert, emphatically, I'm the gay Tupac. The kid from Africa that looks like Tupac, they made him go viral, doing photo shoots dressed as Tupac, he's also gay. The production of Tupac Toy appears to be gay. So it seems as if they're associating Tupac with a lot of gay things, which to me indicates Hollywood telling us something that we're not paying attention to. In the book Got Your Back written by Tupac's bodyguard Frank Alexander, he states, I may as well spell it out, Tupac had a horse cock. He noticed because of the infamous Death Row party, where Suge Knight flew in 40 females. This is not something a heterosexual man would write. In my mind, it's all psychology, the science of mind and behavior. They're making straight fans fantasize over Tupac unknowingly, hence why many fans seek to find females that supposedly had sex with Tupac, which is why most male fans make it a point to prove Tupac had sex with Faith Evans. Most females aren't seeking these things out, it's men focused on the idea of Tupac sleeping with 40 women, or having what Frank Alexander calls a horse. Gays shaped Hollywood and made the straight fantasize about another man. Hence, the movie Friday After Next, Tupac appealed to thugs, and they propped Tupac up with feminine traits and characteristics. Now they're showing the thug fantasizing about another thug.
Sphinx Bear, we're about to get into how early the whistle was blown and by whom.
This is what happened to the public unknowingly. Here's a clip of Tupac talking about unification. What he says is very interesting to say the least.
We manifest the best of the West Side and the best of the East Side, and we bring that together. You know what I mean? When East Coast G's have sex with West Coast G's.
What? Was that a Freudian slip? What? I never saw that interview before. Is that a little too on the nose? What? What? Was he just talking too fast? What? I mean, no, he's not talking about women when he's talking about G's. G's for gangsta. As in male gangsta.
Fantasizing about another thug. This is what happened to the public unknowingly. Here's a clip of Tupac talking about unification. What he says is very interesting to say the least.
We manifest the best of the West Side and the best of the East Side, and we bring that together. You know what I mean? When East Coast G's have sex with West Coast G's, these G's being women.
Did you hear what he's like, did everybody hear that? Then he tries to scramble and say these G's being women? I mean, what's the context there? He's talking about bringing West Side and East Side together. You know, East Side versus West Side is a well-known conflict, manufactured or not. And then he tries to cover it up, these G's being... Whoever referred to a G as a woman? I mean, they have other slang terms for that. Shorties being the more sanitized one.
He says East Coast G's have sex with West Coast G's. He stutters and corrects himself by saying these G's being women. Most will say he's saying having sets. SETS. But if that's true, he wouldn't have to correct himself to say women.
East Coast G's have sex with West Coast G's. These being women.
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip with a very pathetic attempt. Especially, who has ever referred to East Coast or West Side G's being women? G is a slang for gangsta, man, guy, brother, whatever. You know, they have there's a whole different set of words for females in rap culture. Most of them which I can't say. But yeah, shorties or honeys or whatever are usually the more sanitized version. What the heck is this?
In conclusion, Tupac called out everyone for being gay, but could it have been him trying to deny his own homosexual urges? Could it have been the elite's way of subconsciously implanting feminine traits into the urban community, style, looks, thoughts, etc.? From Versace calling Tupac the most beautiful man, to Tupac allegedly saying Quincy Jones asked to have sex with him, to Tupac's hearing being on the wrong side, which indicated that a man was gay in the 90s. In the end, it all remains somewhat speculative.
They'll be, oh, these people. They'll be, oh, these people.
Is anybody still not convinced? Now, I knew I'd be getting some blowback from saying that DMX was the real one and Tupac wasn't. But now that we're checking the receipts, now that we're looking at the receipts, hopefully people will understand why I'm saying that Tupac might have been the manufactured shill and DMX was not.
You know,
well, never mind. He's gay. Oval to Harmon would be roughly about a 5-minute drive, so how did he avoid hitting every other car? How did he get through 3 to 5 stoplights with no body damage to the car? Also, if they drove over the median, why isn't the front of the car scratched and is in fact pristine condition? Why is the car perfectly positioned in the middle of the street? It looks as if the car was planted there. Pay attention to the skid marks on the road. If a tire loses control, the marks on the road will be black and zigzag from the tires going in different directions. This mark is perfectly curved, looks like someone drove it in and planted the car there. Those marks don't indicate a struggle at all. And the tire and skid mark is white in color, which doesn't indicate hard stopping. This is the real crime scene photo taken the next day. No skid marks on the road from the tires losing control.
You know, these aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say,
I finally got over.
If this photo was taken at a red light, why is it that there's no street light reflecting on the windshield? We can see examples of reflecting lights from other photos.
Well, maybe 5 or 6 cars behind him. Then we came to another light, and that's when we stopped there. And then Then, as we were stopped there,
His eyes fluttering back and forth, having trouble remembering, he raises his eyebrows when he finally remembers the story. This is a clear sign of deception.
And then, as we were stopped there,
there was, we were in like the second lane from the curb, and cars were rolling by on both sides, and then next thing you know, it's like you just heard, bap, 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 bap.
Leonard Jefferson said the streets were packed, bumper-to-bumper traffic, so how was the lane to the right of the BMW completely free the entire time to let the white Cadillac in? The streets were packed, but the right lane was open. The news reporters were right. It sounds like a movie because it's scripted just like one.
Shug had kind of like went up on the curb. He caught a flat after he came off the curb.
If Shug was boxed in the middle lane, then how did he immediately go over the median? Look at the small median.
Industry hoax is actually hilarious in actually breaking down the official narrative here, which clearly has quite a few issues.
Are we supposed to believe that this destroyed the BMW tire and rims at under 15 miles per hour?
TUPAC and Suge Knight left Knight's home around 10:30 to go to Club 662. By 11:15 that evening, they were heading east on Flamingo, just coming to this intersection here at Koval. They were driving a black BMW 1996 model. Knight was driving, TUPAC was in the passenger seat. Along the passenger side, right over here, came a late model white Cadillac, but he promptly floored the car, spinning it completely around and took a U-turn so that it instantly headed west on Flamingo. And the fact that the traffic on the strip after a heavyweight fight in Vegas is something to behold.
And the fact that the traffic on the strip after a heavyweight fight in Vegas is something to behold.
These aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say.
And he made the left turn onto to that street. Next thing we know, there's cops, like on bicycles.
Once again, we can easily see if someone is being deceptive by body language. Hard swallowing. Similarly, the lack of moisture in our throats when we're lying can cause hard swallows, often referred to as the Adam's apple jump. Gulp.
Next thing we know, there's cops, like on bicycles. Cops, like on bicycles, and then we see the cars rolling up, and then they just pulled out their guns.
Suge Knight makes a U-turn, the cameraman follows, and they amazingly travel back on the 5 minutes drive through packed traffic, stopping or running all red lights, all on bent rims. Lights, camera, action. Let's look at Leonard Jefferson's work. His IMDb states he's in the transportation department and worked on major TV shows and films as a supplier. Picture cars. Now that I'm looking back at the scene, the car looks planted there. Leonard Jefferson works with picture cars. Maybe the BMW was just a picture car, which is a staged vehicle that appears on film. Leonard Jefferson, a picture car coordinator who arranges pictures and cinematography for the vehicle and supplies stunts and special effects for the vehicle to make
We're not going to go
it
through
appear
all
realistic.
of this, but he just goes through all the issues here with the official narrative.
Who owns the system? The elite own the system.
These aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say.
Pot. I'm like, man, set off, nigga, you to the doctor.
Shug said Pac was talking to him the entire time, but how can you talk if you're shot in the lung? He will struggle to breathe, never mind talk. Chances are, he would have been spewing blood out of his mouth.
These are things that make you say.
But they also said they pulled Tupac out of the car, laid him on the ground. The problem is if his lung was penetrated, he'd be coughing up blood. Laying him down on his back, he could possibly choke on his blood.
These are things that make you say.
Shakur shot in the chest in Las Vegas on Saturday night. We'll keep you
quiet. So that was kind of like a memorial time in the tunnel because I seen him with the jewelry on.
Also November 30th, the same gold chain month by month. We found Tupac wearing his gold chain for the entire year of '94. March, April, July, August, September, and October. Also November 30th, the same day as the robbery, he wore his chain. December 1st, after the robbery, Tupac in a wheelchair shows us just how much he was robbed.
Things that make you say.
Tupac played his role. He set the stage for what the hip-hop industry was to become today. His character was not going to be sufficient for these times. The elite play a game of chess well beyond many comprehension. They know when to provide heroes and villains to control the masses. They have been doing it for a long time and damn good at it.
When I die, you can watch it, and that's what you're gonna do. When I die, you can, and that's what you're gonna do.
Interesting. Very, very interesting interview.
When I die, you can watch it, and that's what you're gonna do.
Keep on moving, won't stop, no. Keep on moving. I'm heading for that touch.
Okay, so now that we've gone over why Tupac Shakur could have been a plant